put NBA draft liver
Oh god.
pro plays. All right, we're live, kind of.
All
I
right.
gotta
Yeah, are we live?
should be.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we are. All right, good. Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Tough Talk. Got this live reaction for round one of the NBA draft, about to start in a few minutes. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys. Feel free to chat below in our YouTube. Derek and I will be checking chat, and also hit us up at Tough Talk Pod, and we will definitely be checking that out as well and replying back. We're also going to put out the draft picks with a little bit of strengths, weaknesses, and their stats from the season past in their college when they get picked up, and we will definitely be analyzing every pick that we have. Derek, what's going on, man?
Not a lot. I'm having technical difficulties on my end. I'm trying to deal with real quick.
Okay, cool. Well, as he gets that taken care of, I just want to talk real quick. So we had a couple trades that just happened.
Actually, hold on real quick.
NBA
Can you do me a favor and turn yours up, see if you can hear us?
Yeah, I can hear us. Yeah, I have it, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yep,
it's not showing
I
up
can
on
hear
my
both
thing,
of
so
us.
it kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, you're good, man. No problem. So going back to the trades, we just had a couple huge ones. Some that involve second round picks, and then some that involve top 10 picks. So I'm going to talk about one, and Derek, I'll let you talk about the other because I know you're really excited about one. The one that I'm more excited about is the Atlanta Hawks moving up for the New Orleans Pelicans #4 pick. We kind of had an idea that was going to happen, that New Orleans was going to trade this 4 pick after receiving it from the Lakers for the Anthony Davis trade. Hawks move up and they give the 8, the 17, and I believe 2 second-round picks as well. Is that correct, Derek?
Yeah, no, one.
Okay,
The
one
8
more
to
second
17 and the 35, that's it.
Okay, yeah, which is 35 is almost the first-round pick, really close.
Which is
so
nice to
pretty
have,
impressive. Absolutely, especially in this draft, which a lot of people don't think is deep, but Derek and I think otherwise. So one thing that's really cool about the Hawks, they moved up 4 spots and gave up that 17th pick, but they kept the 10th pick. So Hawks are in a really good position to win this draft. They have 2 top 10 picks, 1 at 4, 1 at 10. And the Pelicans look fantastic too. They definitely set themselves up 3 first-round picks in the first 20 picks. So as of right now, as we sit, New Orleans Pelicans and the Boston Celtics are the only 2 teams with 3 picks as we go into tonight's draft. Derek, I want you to talk about the next big trade we had, and that's involving the Phoenix Suns and your Minnesota Timberwolves. So what do you think about that?
I think we just got Darius Garland, and I love it. If Darius Garland falls to 6, I think that's the play, and we are sitting healthy. A lot of people are saying, well, you know, they drafted Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio above Steph Curry a couple years ago. And, you know, that's true. But we were looking for a playmaking point guard, and so we drafted 2 of them. One of them because he was an international prospect who looked really good, and the other one because he was the playoff warrior. He was the warrior of the brackets. He was the one showing off in the brackets. So, yeah, I think we got Darius Garland at 6. I think he's going to be great for us, and I think that's going to be perfect for us.
Absolutely. We also had another trade that was involving the Indiana Pacers and who was that one? We had the Pacers trading. Oh man, what was that one with? There's so many trades I'm messing up. I gotta look now. There's so many trades that's already happened.
The Pacers trade was, you got me thinking about it. Oh, they took a cap dump.
That one was with the Suns. Yeah, that was with the Suns with T.J. Warren, right?
T.J. Warren in a second-round pick. They called it a cap dump, but it's really nice because the Pacers get T.J. Warren in a second-round pick. So,
which is another high second-round pick. It's like in the 33 or 30. No, it's 31, I think. And that's basically another late first-round pick. So fantastic move for the Pacers. They hold the 18th overall pick as well in this draft. So they definitely can make some moves and hopefully strengthen their team for the East.
That also rules them out on the whole sweepstakes on the snitch, D'Angelo Russell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we
that's
can
true.
say, man, it's been years since the snitch thing, but come on, it's still funny. He
Yeah,
still
it is.
ratted on his teammate. He still was like, hey, bro, so you're cheating on him? He's like, yeah.
I can't believe I forgot all about that. I mean,
why the hell would you even say yeah?
Yeah, it's been a minute. So definitely looking forward to this draft as it's just getting started here.
Admit that shit.
So this draft's just getting started, and I'm pretty sure we all know who the first round pick is. Actually, it's a done deal. David Griffin already came out and said they're going to be taking Zion Williamson. So Zion Williamson, fantastic player. What do you think about this guy, Zion, and is he going to make an immediate impact for this Pelicans team?
Well, yeah, obviously. If he doesn't make an immediate impact, he got injured. That's the only two ways this goes. Everybody's saying, well, he's just a more athletic Julius Randle, or he's a more athletic who's the other one I saw, Larry Nance Jr. And I'm like, you're sick in the head because this guy's like a much more athletic Charles Barkley, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think Charles Barkley, Larry Johnson. If you had to put him towards,
imagine Sean Kemp if his knees didn't blow out. That's what I see.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't mind that. If you had to put him towards an NBA player for now, I would put him towards someone like kind of like the same potential and skill set as Blake Griffin when he was coming out. He really didn't have that three-point shot yet. He still had to work on his jumper. He slowly brought that into his game, which you've definitely seen that a lot more in these past few seasons for Blake. So I think that's my comparison if I had to give them to a recent NBA player, and that's Blake Griffin.
And then John said it in the chat that the Cavs' first-round pick in 2020, which they just showed on the draft as well, will be going over to the Hawks as well for that.
Okay, cool. Fantastic. So,
or was that
thanks for that.
I think I might have said that backwards, actually. Yeah, the Cavs' first-round pick is going to the New Orleans Pelicans for the 4 from the Hawks.
Crazy.
Said that backwards.
Crazy. All right, so I just can't believe how.
Sorry, guys, I forgot to put this up. I've been sitting here just kind of watching, being lazy. Jeez.
I'm really excited for Zion in New Orleans. New Orleans has made a lot of acquisitions in the last couple weeks. They got Lonzo Ball. They got Brandon Ingram. Now they just make this trade to get more assets moving down with Atlanta.
Do you think they keep all these picks, or do you think they try to trade another one of these off in the draft?
I think if they're smart, they just lost Julius Randle, so I think if they go and they get Zion, that's already a guarantee. So then you have 2 other picks at 8 and at 17. If Cam Reddish is still there, that's not a bad pick, but what I think they should do is go after Jackson Hayes. If they can go after Jackson Hayes, fill that Julius Randle void, that'd be fantastic. And then at 17, it all depends who's there. If they have a guy that's sitting there, maybe an Alexander Walker or a Romeo Langford who's been falling off because of the injury risks, I think that's a fantastic pickup, and you do that. Maybe pick up one of those other point guards that are supposed to be in the 20s. Maybe if Tyler Herro's still there, nice overall shooter. He's not a point guard, but a shooting guard might help to add in for maybe a 6-man, or it gives you more opportunity to move Drew Holiday if need be, and you can solidify that core moving forward. I think the smart move for New Orleans is to keep all 3 picks tonight. The other team that has all 3 picks, that's the Boston Celtics. I think they should be getting rid of at least 2, either to move up or to gain some assets later on.
Oh, nice. Well, apparently I can't show that.
What's that?
It just gave me content issues detected. Our stream would be temporarily blocked.
Oh, we don't need that.
So we can't show the highlights, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That was fast, too, because I showed maybe 30 seconds of the highlights. And it popped up saying that. So we can't show those. And I just did, by the way, guys, I did probably 12 hours of making these highlights for the stream.
Yeah.
That we can no longer show.
That's rough, man.
I know that the draft is not showing anywhere or the audio is not popping up because I made sure of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it had to be that, and that's sickening.
That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
All
well,
right.
Our chat hasn't gone away. We might have lost our highlights, but our chat hasn't gone away, so feel free to hit us up on the YouTube chat. Derek will be monitoring that, and then hit us up on Twitter at Tough Talk Pod, and I'll be monitoring Tough Talk. If you have any questions or any kind of comments you want to talk about these reactions or anything whatsoever, hit us up. we'll definitely be answering those questions or those comments. We look forward to it. Look forward to having a couple of drinks with you tonight and enjoying this draft. We're still in the intro talks with the NBA draft. We still have the analysts on ESPN handling their intros. We haven't had anybody officially on the clock yet, so we'll see what happens when that comes forward. Definitely looking forward to this draft and thinking about it all week.
How long each pick is going to be?
No way.
I swear that's what, like, you know how I told you that there's that chat? They're saying 25 minutes is the thing that everybody's been saying.
I think they're saying 25 minutes for when it actually starts, because there's a ticker on the bottom of ESPN, and it says NBA draft starts in 21 minutes and certain seconds. So I think they're officially going to start at 7:30. So that it kind of puts a little damper on us since we don't have highlights to talk about it. But I'm sure we can find plenty of things to talk about in these 20 minutes as we move forward.
Like all the trades, how it's going to affect free agency.
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things that I want to talk about is what I just discussed earlier. Is a guy, his name is Romeo Langford, and we've had him in our mock drafts the last 2 times that we've done mocks, and we've had him sitting at sometimes up to 12, all the way near about 18. Now there's talks that this guy might drop even farther because injury concerns, and he had an off year at Indiana. If Romeo Langford goes down to what pick, Derek, is he considered a steal? I'm going to say if he hits anything that's in the 20s. Derek, how do you feel about this guy?
Yeah, if he falls into the 20s, that's a steal and a half.
Yeah.
He's a great player in my opinion. Yeah, he was hurt last year, but I don't think he's going to be that hurt this year, so be ready to see this guy out there doing some things. I still say if he falls to Detroit, I don't see how they don't take him, because that's exactly what they really need.
Mm-hmm.
But if he falls, then he falls. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Yep, and I think that's true too. I think Detroit's going to be, unless
Boston would be disgusting.
That's I think
20.
and they have 3. If they have 3 picks too, I don't think they would use that pick on him at 14 because they have pick 20 and I think 22 or 23 is it. 14, I think they're really trying to lock up Brandon Clark if Brandon Clark's there for Boston. And I think that's the pick, the only pick they should keep. If they can find a way to package those other 2 picks and move up or trade for assets or whatever need be in the future, I think that's a smart move for Boston. But we'll see. Another mock that I saw today, which was really interesting, was Bol moved all the way down to pick 20, and Boston picked him up. So they had Brandon Clark at 14, Bol at 20, and it is lost Al Horford. So that could be a really cool transition to watch in Boston as they move from the older, more veteran type of Kyrie Irving and Al Horford, and now they have Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and a Brandon Clark and a Bol rocking in Boston. That would be definitely a big change. How do you feel about that? You think that's something that we could see, maybe Bol moving down to 20?
Well, that's a perfect spot for him to be, is at 20 to the Celtics, because they can actually take the risk on him. Not a lot of teams want to take that risk on him. I'm telling you, he has a great upside, but let's be serious. He's already been hurt once.
Yeah.
How many times is he going to get hurt? I know everybody's like, well, he has the same stature as his dad. His dad also played in the 90s, where they went up and down the court. A lot of these teams are running like 10-second, 12-second offenses right now. Mm-hmm. That's going to be his time getting back up and down the court.
Yeah, that's true. The only thing that I can say about his father compared to him is, they have the same type of size. They're not very big, but the 90s was a very physical era of basketball, and he did just fine in that era. So I'm not saying that Bol is as physical as his father. I don't know if you can consider that, but I think his size and his versatility was going to work so much more in this era than it would have in the 90s. So I think it's a really good risk for anybody.
Awkward.
He absolutely is awkward, but I think it's a risk that you should be able to take, especially at his stature, especially at his size.
Have you really, I know you watched this. I know you watched it just like I watched it, but them jump shots of his are just ugh. Yeah, he's got a good jumper. His jumper is good. This man is shooting from his face, and it looks awful. And if he tries that on the next level, he's going to get swatted a lot.
I think it looked a lot better because of his size and his stature. So a lot of the college players couldn't get to him, so it didn't look contested. I feel like that'd be a whole different ball game in the NBA. You're going to see a lot more contested shots against him if he keeps that mechanics the same way. And I think that'll change easily. Wherever this guy goes, Summer League's going to fix this guy. And if he doesn't get fixed, then you're not going to see him very much in the next few seasons.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing that I saw was talking about this this big trade, and that was with the Hawks and the Pelicans, and now we have the Hawks sitting at 4 and sitting at 10. Okay, they have Trae Young, they have John Collins. You like a lot more guys on that team.
Quick.
Those are the two that really stick out to me.
John just said, John in our chat, by the way, shout out to John. Cavs are having talk about the 5th pick, and OKC is 50-50 on trading the 21st pick. So what if the Cavs trade that 5th pick just to somebody else who's really a point guard hungry team, just so they don't get Darius Garland in Minnesota? I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's interesting.
No,
That's
you're good.
interesting
So
that
it
just
was
came out.
they're talking about trading the 21st pick. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, OKC's talking about trading the 1st pick or the 21st pick, and Cavs are talking about trading the 5th pick. I think it's 2
Interesting.
separate talks, but still both interesting.
Yeah, that would be definitely interesting.
The Cavs
I
one
think
is especially interesting to me because I don't want to see Darius Garland go to another team but Minnesota today.
The Cavs trade is definitely, I'd say, more interesting for sure because it's one of the top 5 pick. And we've heard a lot about Cleveland possibly wanting to trade out of this pick. I think we've heard that more than we've heard out of a lot of other picks. I think it was like one of the first speculation picks when they were talking more about New York possibly moving weeks ago, before the Atlanta tried to move up with them, before any of that. So I like that. I think that's a strong possibility. The OKC pick at 21, yeah, that definitely could happen. Anything could happen after 20. It all depends on who's available still, because I feel like that's one of those trades that are not going to happen right now unless there's a player that's already in the league involved. That trade might happen now. But if that trade
not
does
even
not,
a big player either, just a role
Right.
player that can help.
yeah. Yeah, but if that trade does not involve any players right now in the NBA, that trade will not take place until we get to that official pick, or maybe the pick beforehand. But there's no way that pick happens that late in the draft because there's so much uncertainty unless there's an actual current NBA player that you can be able to know what like their potential and their stats and how this guy could play with your team, and watching him play in the pros actually can set up. But for Cleveland, though, that's very interesting. A lot of people have talked about Cleveland being the first guy to take a big man. They're still in a rebuilding stage, so they're going to take best available. But if they move down, they can get more picks. They're in that rebuilding stage, like I keep saying. So there's definitely a big push that Cleveland could have to try to speed that up and get more players. If they can move
a
it,
huge trade here.
it
I
could
just got to
be.
thinking about what if, and just hear me out here. Washington at 9, looking to trade Beal. Cavs are looking to trade Kevin Love. Do a swap
Yep.
and swap. Swap the picks, swap the players.
If that happens, that better happen before. It's got to happen before 5, obviously. But wow, would that be insane? Washington move up to 5. They'd probably get a Jared Culver. You have Jared Culver and Kevin Love on the Wizards there with John Wall.
That's all speculation. That's just
absolutely.
Me
This
shooting
is
off
all
the script.
speculation. Yeah, that would be crazy though. And that would definitely speed up a rebuild for Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland likes being on a bottom feeder, especially after being NBA champions for just a few years
Colin
ago.
Sexton is good, so.
He is good. He's very good. And I think that's a team that you
Could
can
that be
build
a trade
around
like
this
when
guy.
could that be a trade? I know that LeBron's not coming back to the team, but could that be one of those trades that they trade for Bill, get that pick, and like move back to 9, right? And then they get say a Jackson Hayes or a Sekou Doumbia in that pick at 9, and then that's enough to bring in a big name free agent to free the team up with Bradley Beal, Colin Sexton, Larry Nance Jr. And all that they have rebuilding, because you're going to get rid of Kevin Love, so there's not going to be a lot of pieces left there. But still, that could look interesting. That could be appealing to a free agent that's looking to go make a name somewhere, and maybe look for a small agent or a small market to go to.
Yeah, that's like we said, it's pure speculation. Who knows if Washington's going to be involved in anything tonight? Because who's running the show tonight for Washington?
We're not sure. Have an interim GM, but what's that really mean?
Right, exactly. And what that means is they have somebody sitting in the hot seat to take. It's like I wouldn't say it's the Adam Gase of the Jets, because Gase is actually making moves, but there's actually somebody who's just taking the fall for the name. But the owner's moving what he wants to move. So if the owner makes this move, or if the Wizards make this move, it's because of the owner of the Washington Wizards, not the interim GM. But if it fails and they don't like it, this guy has someone to point and blame at it. If not, then this guy gets some leverage later on, maybe become an assistant GM, or might be able to have, hey, I completed the Beal trade for Cleveland or Washington. Gives them a chance to move forward. So it's a win-win situation if they do decide to make some kind of move like that for the Washington front office, because they can either, well, at least for the owner-wise, because he's either going to be a hero or he can point a finger. So I could see Washington doing something like that, because I know they definitely need to get rid of Beal's contract. I don't think they should have signed that guy. That's a strong reason why that GM is no longer in Washington.
Too much.
Absolutely. Beal's a great player, don't get me wrong. He's fantastic, but he should not be getting around $32 million next year, which I think that's where he's scheduled to get. I think it's 32 or 34. Can't remember top of my head. But either way, that's way too much money. John Wall's already getting a lot of money as it is. Having both your guards taking almost $50 million or more than $50 million and not getting anything else for your guys in the paint and the guys underneath the rim other than maybe a mid-level entry. It's just not good enough for the
Think about this. If they had kept Otto Porter between three positions, they'd have been paying out $80 million in 1 year.
Yeah, that's true.
That's horrible.
Yeah. They really tried to solidify and keep that core in Washington, which, at one point it was fantastic. You had some stars coming in. They tried with Howard to see if they could do anything. That didn't really pan out. They got rid of Otto Porter. They got Jabari Parker out of it. Parker really hasn't panned out.
No.
The way that everybody thought he was going to.
Since he got drafted, I think. I also don't think that,
no, I agree.
I think Otto Porter was slightly overrated. I think that contract he got was a little too much money.
Yeah, no, I think that, and I think he was overshadowed. I think his skill was he got the height under the radar between Beal and Wall. Absolutely, his stats were, I think, fluffed because of those guys. He had more opportunities to take the shots because he wasn't getting covered. He could sit in the perimeter. He could do whatever you want because Wall would collect the double team, or Beal would be able to move and have an isolation and pass it off to Porter. Yeah, absolutely, 100% agree. Porter is probably a little overrated, and he doesn't do that contract. We probably won't see him receive another contract that big, unless he does something crazy in Chicago, which who knows, especially since Chicago is sitting pretty at the number 7 pick. There's talks about what was going to happen with them. I know that we had talks about the Knicks, too. The Knicks was said to be locked in on R.J. Barrett, but I've heard from Twitter today that R.J. Barrett was not the only guard that the Knicks were working out. They were working out Kobe White and Darius Garland. So
I think that's
I
pretty
wouldn't say to me
they
that
already got 3 point guards there, but let's go ahead and work out 2 more. Why not?
That's true, and to me that doesn't say that they're gonna draft Garland or Kobe White at 3. Exactly. That says that they would not be afraid to trade back, and I think that was them considering maybe the Atlanta trade or maybe someone else, such as Phoenix, who did move back, so you can rule them out, or possibly the Bulls. The Bulls need a point guard. I think we know that. I think Kobe White will fit fantastic in Chicago's system. If Minnesota can get Garland and Chicago can get White, I think this is a fantastic draft for both those organizations, and it's a fantastic start to this NBA draft, other than the picks that it's already going to happen. But for these teams that are really struggling, I think those 2 picks fit fantastic when you move up and you put Garland somewhere. But who knows what's going to happen to the number 5 pick as we see what's happening with the trades with Cleveland. Nothing's happened yet that I've seen. Really following, see if Woj has posted anything, but nothing's happened yet.
I think Atlanta's sitting pretty right now, though, at 4, because they're going, even if somebody tries to trade above us to steal Hunter, we still get R.J. Barrett, who's a whole nother breed of animal, but we could still want that on our team, so yes, please.
Which is really surprising. I wonder if they made the call to Cleveland before they did it to New Orleans, because I don't think DeAndre Hunter was going to go in that 4th overall pick. I think they could have probably gone down another pick before the guard game and maybe kept one of their picks. Maybe they could have gave up the 10 and the 17 instead of the 8 if they would have traded with Cleveland 1 pick below. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think they're definitely, like I said, they're in probably the best spot to have the best draft, especially in this first round. They're the only team now with 2 top 10 picks. I definitely like it. I like it a lot. We got Trae Young.
They still get the 10th pick, and they're going DeAndre Hunter. John just said the same thing in the chat, but we all know they're going DeAndre Hunter here because they love DeAndre Hunter. If you go back to our last mock draft, I talked about this on the mock draft that I thought the Hawks were going to trade up here.
Breaking news. Just kidding. I follow a spoof account of Woj, and he tried to throw me off guard here. I need to unfollow this dude.
I sure did just go looking at my phone too to see what the breaking news was and what the picks were.
So let's just laugh at it. This guy was. So you got to make sure you follow the right Woj, all right? He says, breaking news, the Oklahoma City Thunders agreed to trade Steven Adams, Terrence Ferguson, the 21st round pick, and their 2020 first round pick to the Wizards for Brad Beal. Imagine Brad Beal on OKC with Russell Westbrook, Brad Beal, and Steven Adams coming over to Washington. That'd be pretty insane. I'm not saying that's going to happen because usually you don't really follow parity.
You know what that would tell me? Brad Beal's going to be pissed off till he gets out of OKC.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be pissed off as soon as he hears it. He's going to be like, you telling me I got to go play with that fucker? Yeah, he gets a triple-double, but he hogs the ball all game.
All right, so who hogs the ball more, Russell Westbrook or James Harden?
Oh, shit.
Does Chris Paul have a reason to be mad? Whether they say all that stuff's fake news, there's no way. There's definitely some definitely some
real
stuff being hidden
there. That's just James Harden. That's Chris Paul being an adamant professional and going. That's
and the owner
said.
That's the owner. That's the owner and the GM trying to hold the team together when he knows it's falling apart. There's definitely some mess up. There's some arguments between these two guys, no doubt about it. Bull, look at this guy. He's just came out introduced. This guy's wearing a spider web suit.
I just saw Spike Lee clapping, and I'm just thinking, I hope you like Goga Batadze, buddy. I fucking hope you enjoy Goga, because that's where they're going number 3 overall, because it's the Knicks.
Oh.
Could you imagine? Because they're going to boo it, but they booed Kristaps too.
I think the Knicks, they will boo the Knicks unless it's RJ Barrett.
Yeah. But here's the
unless something happens with the second round pick or overall pick and Ja Morant comes to 3, and if that happens, I don't even know what you do. If I was the Knicks, Ja Morant was still sitting there, I'd listen to every phone call.
If I was the Knicks, I don't care about the media, and I'm still trying to trade back at this point, trying to get 2 or 3 first round picks for this 3rd overall pick, because we got a lot more problems than one little guy is going to be able to fix. As much as I like RJ Barrett, he's not going to change that organization next year. He'll do good. That team's not going to be a winning organization because of him. By the way, did you hear the reports that because KD's not talking to the Nets, they're not talking to Kyrie now?
Yeah, absolutely. They're talking. That is very interesting. I did hear a really cool thing about Kevin Durant today too. Golden State has been in talks with Kevin Durant, and they're going to possibly offer him the max deal. They're going to let him deal with his rehab and then assist him in getting a trade to wherever he wants to go. So, 1, that'll give Kevin Durant his money, so that's a win. 2, that gives him his rehab, also a win for KD. And that allows him to choose where he wants to get traded for, fair reason. I'm sure there'll be other things around it. So, another win for KD. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. But then you would have assets going back to Golden State. So it's a smart move by Golden State trying to hold on to this guy as much as they can. They know they're probably going to lose this guy. So at least you can get something out of him and letting him just completely walk. So I don't know if this will happen. If I was Kevin Durant, yeah, it's a win-win for the money, and it's a win-win for being able to rehab and not have to worry about a contract. But if you go to a team at his age, I think the only thing that should matter to him is winning a championship. If he goes to a team, they're going to take all his assets away to go to Golden State, then he's left with what? So if I was him, I don't know if I'd take that deal, but it's something that there's been in speculation today.
Just be staying in Golden State. Damn, he worked good there. They won a championship there together.
That's true.
They made it to another finals, then everybody got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, real quick, I smiled, and I smiled because Rui Hachimura came out, and then Brandon Clark came out and stood right next to him. You can tell those two are really good, like they're damn near brothers, and I would really love to see those two in Atlanta, or in not Atlanta.
Probably Boston.
I was thinking actually in New Orleans. The 8 and the 17.
You think Brandon Clark goes that high?
I think if they're high enough on him, and then Rui falls to 17. But I think Rui goes in I think he's going in the lottery. I just think it would be fun to see those two together in the next level too, because those two clearly have that brother-like chemistry.
Yeah, that's true. And we might be completely wrong about that 8th overall pick with New Orleans. We might not getting a big guy like Jackson Hayes. They might wait until later on. Maybe they go with a bull at 17. if they go Cam Reddish, we get another reunion. We were hoping for the R.J. Barrett, Zion Williamson, but we might get a Zion and Cam Reddish. And I think what you said earlier, I think makes perfect sense. If he goes there, Brandon Ingram and Cam Reddish aren't gonna mix very well.
They're gonna have to move him to the shooting guard, move Drew Holiday out of town. That's what would have to happen. Cam Reddish should have to try to transition to be a shooting guard in the NBA. I don't think that happens because he's 6'9" with a 7'2" wingspan. But Paul George played shooting guard for how many years?
Yeah,
so
that's
we
true.
can't really say it doesn't work because he was an all-star shooting guard. I may be wrong. He may not actually got to all-star level, but he was close to all-star every year. Kevin Porter Jr. there. This is telling me people are getting calls saying you're going to be in the lottery.
Oh, the people getting the people that are they invite a certain amount of people.
Right, but you're not necessarily going to go if you don't think you're going to not be in the lottery. You're not going to sit there all night.
Yeah,
so
Kevin
true. Porter Jr. showing up that early, Rui Hachimura, Brandon Clark, tells me they're getting calls. This one surprises me. Matisse Thybulle, I don't think he's getting picked in the lottery tonight. Sorry, buddy.
He might be waiting a little bit, but I think he goes in the first round.
I think he's
we were talking about that. Yeah, I could see him going very late in the first round. I could see him going around 29-30. So, Zion Williamson.
PJ Washington could be one of those guys that whatever team he goes help, he could really help that team.
I don't see PJ Washington passing the Miami Heat. I think that's his limit. I think
that's
he's going to
bold prediction. You don't think he's going to fall past 13 because most drafts have him going in the 20s.
Yeah, I see him going to Miami. I really feel PJ Washington in Miami.
Johnson going. I saw some drafts taking him in the second round. All white suit like he's a pimp out here, Zion.
I don't remember where I have him. I don't have it up right now. But if he goes in the second round, that's insane. If the Spurs go ahead and get a big guy in their first pick, and they still have and Keldon Johnson's still on the board in their second pick of the first round, I mean, obviously depending who's there, it'd be difficult to see Popovich and the Spurs pass up on Johnson because that guy he's got good talent, and I don't know why he would fall down to the second round.
Me neither, but I saw it and I had to ask you because I was like, he's a good shooter. He plays good.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Plays decent defense. I'm not going to say good defense. But in this NBA we're in, it's all about efficient guards who shoot the three-pointers. So,
yeah,
like, what are we looking at here? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
John said in the chat that the Knicks turned down the Hawks trade for the 3, the 8, or for the 3 with the 8 and the 10.
Yep.
Yeah, that was because they were trying to get the 8 to 10 to 17, and they didn't think the team right behind them was going to take the 8 to 17 in the second rounder. They were unaware that the Pelicans was willing to give it away that quick. So I bet the Knicks are probably kicking themselves right now because I think they really did want to trade down, but they were trying to get 3 first-round picks out of the Hawks because they need that assets. They need that return. So it's kind of funny, but yeah, I think that's what it honestly was they screwed up. They
now, how crazy would that have been if Atlanta would have went to 3 and then would they have took R.J. Barrett or? Yeah, okay. They wouldn't have went for DeAndre Hunter. I was just making sure because if they would have they would have went towards.
I think he's more of a superstar potential.
I do too.
So, like, when you did the comparisons and we did comparisons, Kawhi Leonard keeps popping up for DeAndre Hunter.
Absolutely.
Kawhi Leonard is a 2-time MVP for the finals now. So, but at the same time, Kawhi Leonard went like 14th overall. Kawhi Leonard didn't go number 4 overall because Kawhi Leonard wasn't seen as that much potential coming out of college. So are we waiting the same amount of time for DeAndre Hunter? Because if not, we're not waiting the same amount of time for DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, that's true. I think the guy in this draft, yes, Kawhi Leonard, look, he's got kind of shades of him, without a doubt. Another guy who has a little bit of shades of Kawhi, not as much. He's got more like Gerald Wallace kind of, I say Gerald Wallace kind of comparison, but I do see some shades of Kawhi. And that's Nasir Little. I really like this guy. I think Nasir Little I think this guy can be a fantastic player wherever he winds up going. I've seen him as high as 11, but that's when Minnesota was sitting there, so who knows what Phoenix does at 11. And I've seen him all the way as low as 22 as well for the Celtics' 3rd pick. So
yeah, you don't know
we'll
where
see
that
what
kid's
happens.
going. He could be anywhere in this draft. And I really do like the idea of him, but
Mhm.
it's kind of weird because, like you said, everybody's just, you don't know where he's going to go. Because
Yeah.
you didn't know what he did in college, really, either. I mean, his college
Yeah.
game was not the greatest games.
Yep.
He looked good in high school, didn't look the best in college, had a lot of question marks. Man, I wish
He
I
has.
could
He
show
has.
these.
I think the biggest issue I see with him is his three-point shooting. He really has no consistency whatsoever.
Yeah.
But this guy is a defensive menace. So whoever gets this guy instantly upgrades the position at defense because he's a menace at defense.
Who's the
And
best
he's really
defensive
good at,
player in the draft? I'll let
Yeah,
you think about
absolutely.
it for a minute. Who's the best defensive player in the draft? I'll let you think about it. Take your time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, these UNC guys have a lot of the best material.
Oh, you
Nasir
think
Little
it's-
probably has.
You think
You
it's
think
Nasir
he's-
Little is the best defender in the draft?
He's probably up there. Do you have another one that rebuttal? You might be thinking,
Jared
do you got?
Culver.
Okay, yeah.
Jared Culver.
Yeah.
I think Jared Culver's
Yeah,
going
Culver's
to
up
knock
there.
anybody down.
No, you're right. You're
I think
right.
he comes in in the NBA and makes James Harden a 17-point per game player when he plays against him. That's why I was asking you, because it's like I wanted to get your opinion, and then I wanted to throw Jared Culver in there. Kevin
right, so
Porter
Silver
Jr.
is finally
being linked
talking.
to the Nets as a 31st pick. This is reported. John just said in the draft. I bet you that's what I just got on Bleacher Report too. Nope, it's the NBA's draft starting now.
Yeah, Silver's on the clock. He's talking it up, congratulating the Toronto Raptors on their first NBA championship,
He
which
should get
was
booed.
fantastic.
He
He
should
doesn't get booed.
He should get
Adams,
booed.
why do you think? I think he's the best commissioner in all of sports.
All commissioners should get booed.
I could see that with a lot of commissioners, but this guy's trying to make big changes in the
Yeah, they just
NBA.
get paid way too freaking much.
Oh, yeah, sure.
This guy's getting paid more than second-round picks in the NBA.
Hey, it's a business.
He's getting paid more than people outside of the lottery right now. If we looked up his salary right now, his salary is probably ranging max contract in the NBA, probably.
I
I'm not
don't know
going
if
to
it's
just
that
throw him
high.
out there under the bus like that, but I bet it's like that. I know it's like that for the NFL.
All right. Adam Silver just said, "Let's get started."
I have like about a 10-second delay from you because he just congratulated the Raptors.
Okay.
Go figure. This man already got a Zion Williamson Pelicans jersey on. You
Yeah,
are
you
bold.
see that?
And it's the
I'm
number
going to
one.
hit pause on mine for 10 seconds, and then I'm going to come back into it. So at least we're a little close behind,
All right.
just for the sake of this podcast.
I'll tell you where
if you
I'm at.
really need that extra 10 seconds, hit up on Twitter. So one of my Celtics friends on Twitter has just posted his final ESPN mock draft for the Celtics. He says at 14, Tyler Herro. He likes the shooting guard out of Kentucky.
Wow.
Then he takes Bol center for number 20, and then he takes Chuma Okeke forward from Auburn with the 22nd pick. What do you think about that?
I love Shuma Okeke. If he gets taken that
Wow.
early, because he deserves it, and if he hadn't got hurt, he would be going freaking higher. That's why I said I love that pick. So if he hadn't got hurt, he would have went way higher than that. He'd probably be in the lottery right now if he hadn't got hurt last year.
Yeah.
All right, so why isn't he on stage already?
Yeah. Well,
I'm
there's
at
5
4
minutes on the clock.
30
You gotta-
seconds on the clock, by the way.
I'm at 23, 22, so close
Yeah, we're just
enough.
a couple of seconds apart then. That's fine. We're literally like 2 or 3 seconds apart. That's perfect. I'll tell you what, though. I still love the trade of Anthony Davis. I hope it
Yeah.
stays official. Like John was saying in the chat, none of the trades are technically official until July 6th.
That's true. Yep.
And Pelicans could try to sneak a little bit more out of him. But I don't think they will. I think they love the trade. I think the Lakers love the trade. I think everybody's happy there, and I think it'll go. The Mike Conley trade. How much do we love the Mike Conley trade?
Ooh. I think both teams win in that trade. I think Utah gets more of a win now mentality. They get a fantastic player in Mike Conley, but you also get a lot of versatility for Memphis there. They are solidifying that they're going to probably take John Morant. They're going to get hopefully their point guard of the future, and they have more assets to work with this, and because they're going to be a bottom feeder next year, this coming season, and gives them more room to continue and keep going. So I like it. I think Utah wins just by a little bit in this. We did a Twitter poll on Tough Talk Pod, and it was exactly how I thought. 54% said Utah won, and it was that close.
I think
I agree. I think that's where it's at.
I thought my comment was exactly right. There is no loser in that trade. It's just a trade that you can love for both sides. Kind of like the AD trade, too, honestly. If you're a Lakers fan, you love getting Anthony Davis. No Lakers fan right now is going, oh, shit, we traded Anthony Davis for all that. Every Lakers fan is committed to winning right now, so they're loving the Anthony Davis trade. And then everybody in New Orleans is loving the trade for them. They're like, we got the number 4 pick. We got young players. We got Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball. And then we just traded that number 4 pick for more picks. We're looking great right now.
Yeah.
Pick is in. Are you surprised?
Pick is in.
Take that long. With the number 1 overall pick, the New Orleans Pelicans take Taco Fall.
I
just had to say it real quick. That's
I'm
not
drinking
who
to
they
that.
took. He's not even on stage yet. We all know it's Zion, but
if Taco Fall goes first overall, we're ending the show right here, right now. It's done. This would be the final episode of Tough Talk.
What if he goes in the first round tonight?
I would be shocked. And that'd be an article worth writing, 100%. So I think he gets drafted, and but I think it's going to be in the 50s.
So if he goes in the first round, you owe me Taco since it's Taco. Because in the first draft, I had him going in the first round at the very end. Waj reporting this is now 3 trade for AD. What? Atlanta Lakers and Hawks are part of the AD trade now. What? I have no Woj reports saying that.
It's going to be exciting to watch Zion Williamson. This guy's going to be fantastic.
Minnesota is now engaged in multiple conversations about the number 6 deal.
So you think, interesting. So they're going to look to trade out.
Bradley Beal.
Oh.
Bradley Beal for Andrew Wiggins.
Interesting.
Trade the 6, Wiggins for the 9 and Beal. Just do that. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. And there's no third team in that Lakers New Orleans
I'm saying
trade.
I'm looking through the Woj right now, and I don't see anything with that. You almost got me on that one. I got Woj on deck, so.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't have Woj on deck, then you're not doing NBA right, because that guy he's the Adam Scheffler of the NBA without a doubt.
I actually have his the notifications, like how everything pop up for Bleacher Report, Twitter pop up with what Woj say, because.
Yep.
Woj and Shefty.
Yep.
Woj and Shefty.
The two.
Yeah,
you got to go baseball. In my opinion, baseball's Buster Olney.
Okay, I'll give you that one. See,
Here we go.
You know me, I don't
Here we
mess
go.
with so.
And Adam Silver says the Pelicans select Zion Williamson. Surprise.
Anybody surprised by that? I'll let everybody take a second and let the shock set in. We'll take a moment of silence and let the shock set in.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. That was Zion? They took Zion first?
Mm-hmm.
What were they thinking? That they're going to win games.
Mm-hmm.
Let this kid stay healthy, please, because, look, I've been watching this kid. I've never talked about this on this podcast. I've never talked about this on this channel. The only time I've ever talked about this is on my personal Twitch channel. But I've been watching Zion Williamson since he was 15 years old.
Okay.
And the entire time I was watching Zion, the whole talks were, well, he's just playing a bunch of little white kids. That's why he's jumping out of the gym like that. If I was playing a bunch of little white kids in high school, I'd have been jumping out of the gym like that too. Well, he can't shoot, so then he would start shooting threes. well, look at how many threes he misses per game. Look how his percentage went down from like 90% to 70% because he started shooting threes. Then they're like, well, he can't play defense, so he started swatting everybody's stuff out of the gym. This is all in high school, by the way. He's went through this criticism so far, just on YouTube. And this whole time, he just keeps elevating his game and elevating his game and elevating his game. And I'm telling you, if he's healthy, he's a top 10 player in the NBA, and I said it right now.
Yep. Well, I just want to put this out there and make sure that it is out to the media. My mock draft is perfect.
You lying ass. He said, I didn't think I'd be in this position. He said, I didn't think I'd be in this position. You knew you was going to be in this position. As soon as you went to Duke, you knew you was going to be in that position. When you didn't go to South Carolina, you said, nah, I'm going to go to Duke instead, bro. Sorry, Gamecocks.
Yeah, well, he was the number 2 prospect coming out of high school, so right. There was one guy ahead of him.
Here's the idea. You go to the team with the number 1 prospect. The number 1 prospect throws you the ball a lot. Now you're the number 1 prospect.
Yep, that's true.
That was the idea there. Can you blame him? If he goes to the Gamecocks, he probably goes number 5 overall. Because that team's going to be mediocre. They may not even hit the tournament. As much as I like, can he carry a team that hard?
Yeah.
Honestly, if he would have went to South Carolina, he probably would have averaged 30 points per game. Maybe 35, because he would have had the ball so much.
So what do you think about Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant? How do you think those two are going to work together? Because that's going to be their new core.
Like bread and butter?
Yeah.
Like,
you think those two are going to work well together?
Like strawberry jelly on a nice hot roll? Like Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola?
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be solid. Dude, I think those two are going to fit.
I think that's going to be a great team. Because, okay, so we say...
In a couple of years, they're going to still be... I think they fit in.
They could be a 10 seed.
They're team for 14th next year in the West, but
I think
they're still going to be good.
I think they're a 10 seed in the West next year.
Sooner or later.
I think they're a 10 seed in the West next year.
Sooner or later.
You're like lagging a little bit here. No, I really think Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., they can do nothing but grow together. And I don't know if you heard me say it, but I think they could be the 10 seed in the West next year. I think Ja Morant at Murray State didn't have a lot, and then maybe that's where the assist comes from. And I really think that it's going to be really nice to go ahead and see Jaren Jackson Jr. have somebody throw him the ball a lot. Mike Conley Jr. does his thing, but these two are going to be able to grow together and learn together. I know that sounds like kind of weird, but that's the NBA, man. The best teams.
They compare Ja Morant.
So I don't want to. I'm not making this comparison, but look at a young Penny Hardaway and a young Shaq. And I'm not saying Jaren Jackson Jr. is Shaq and Penny Hardaway is Ja Morant, but I'm just saying I like the two of them.
Yeah.
And they clearly have an idea how good they like Jaren Jackson or Ja Morant if they got rid of Mike Conley.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you just went ahead and traded him just out. Yep, bye. Just get out of here. We don't need you on this team no more. Sorry.
All right, Silver's back for pick 2, and we think it's Ja Morant. Silver says the Grizzlies select Ja Morant. So another no surprise here. Ja Morant from Murray State goes round 1, pick 2. Memphis Grizzlies. This guy is great. 6'3", 175. He's only 19 years old. This guy averaged almost 25 points last season and 10 assists. He averaged a double-double at Murray State. Great playmaking off the dribble. Very athletic. The only thing I have to say about him is he got a little work to do on his long-range shooting and some of his discipline areas. Definitely got to work a little more on there. But this guy has a lot of comparisons to Russell Westbrook, and he's got a bright future ahead of him sitting in Memphis.
Yeah, I love it. You say Russell Westbrook. I think he's kind of succeeding the guy he compares to the most, in my personal opinion, in Mike Conley. So I think he's actually coming into the role of the guy who I think he compares a lot to. Because Mike Conley has been on the Grizzlies for a lot of years, doing a lot of underrated work.
Yes, he has.
And honestly, guys, if you don't know how good Mike Conley has been since he came into the NBA, man, Memphis got a great pick in that kid. And I think they just got the successor to him right here. And coming out of college,
absolutely.
you could have said the same things about Mike Conley as well.
Yeah, I would say the thing that puts him as that tier of his own in the point guard position in this draft is his passing. This guy is the best passer in the draft. Yeah, no, I think this guy's the best passer in the draft, in my opinion. I think the only thing that really holds him off is his discipline, but this guy's fantastic. There's a reason he's going 2, and Garland's probably going to go from 4 to 6. Well, 5 or 6.
I think Darius Garland just doesn't have enough tape out there on him because he got hurt. So, you know who else didn't have a lot of tape on him because he got hurt? Kyrie Irving.
That's true. So
Kyrie Irving didn't have a lot of tape on him, and he came out.
So on the actual draft episode, they're comparing John Morant to De'Aaron Fox. How do you feel about that comparison?
I like it. Kinda? I don't know about that one. Kind of two different players in my opinion. Conley did have...
That was coming from Chauncey.
Which, in my opinion, just made Odin look better and Conley look worse in college. I think Conley looked worse in college because he threw the ball into the paint to the big man a lot in college. And that team was the most dominant team in college. They looked like they were going to be unstoppable. And then Joakim Noah and who was it? Joakim Noah. Oh, I can think of them all too. I see them all the Gators that were in that team. Joakim Noah. I'm sure this alcohol has nothing to do with the idea. I can't come up with their names right now. One of them was...
Well, while you're thinking of that, the Knicks
are on the clock.
What's that?
You think they're trading it?
Yeah. No, I don't think they're trading it, but something that just made me laugh is I looked over and on the bottom line they're showing team needs. And, usually they put, they need a power forward or like a outside shooter. I can't make this up. They said everything. It said team needs everything.
They need a new coach. They need a new GM.
Straight up on ESPN.
They need a new fitness trainer in
there. They need a new basketball.
They need a guru in that bitch right now because this team is bad. They need everybody in there.
Oh, man. I'll tell you one thing that they possibly might need. That is definitely a new owner.
When I say they need to trade back, I'm not lying.
Yeah, their key players are Smith Jr. and Knox, really. And that's it. And that's not enough to get yourself out of the game.
Mitchell Robinson was a guy that was holding up a lot of trade talks because he's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we're talking about pieces. We're talking about the pieces, the trash in the pile that you pull out, and you're like, oh, I guess I could use this again, maybe, as you sweep up the rest of it. God, that's a dumpster fire in New York.
Yes. Yeah, this is something that, out of these 3 picks right here, New Orleans is going to definitely improve. And it's not just because it's Zion. They've had so much has happened to the Pelicans and Grizzlies. The pick is in the New York Knicks. What happens here? Do they get out of the gutter? Does this pick help them move out of the bottom of the East?
Cleveland's still in discussion.
They're showing RJ all day.
5th overall pick. Separate deals to unload J.R. Smith. Please make it somebody silly like Goga Bitadze. Please.
No, it's got to be RJ. It's RJ Barrett here. It's got to be. All right. Silver says the third pick of the draft. Knicks select RJ Barrett.
So I'm mad about this because R.J. Barrett's gonna go.
So look at the Knicks fans.
Bro, he's gonna go be a shining
Knicks
star
fans
in
are
a
cheering.
black hole.
Mm-hmm. Knicks fans are actually cheering for once. This isn't the NFL draft where the Jets are booing.
That's
This
scary
isn't-
that the Knicks fans are cheering it. That might
Knicks
say
fans are
it's the
cheering.
wrong pick.
Keep that in mind that Knicks fans are cheering for R.J. Barrett here. New York does not usually do that. I will say, these new draft hats, they're sick, man. These things are nice.
I actually really like R.J. Barrett. I just didn't want
Yeah.
to see him go to New York. I think New York is the one
Oh,
team.
absolutely.
I think he's going to go over there, average 20-something points a game, 7-something rebounds, 4-something assists, and get 20 wins a season for the next 6 years.
Well, I think this guy reminds me a lot about DeMar DeRozan. That's how I see R.J. Barrett.
That's where we
He's
agree.
he's a DeMar DeRozan in my eyes. He's fantastic, 6'7", 202, just like John Morant, 19 years old. He averaged just under 23 points last year. Almost had 8 rebounds a game as well. Almost 5 assists a game, and he shot just under 46% from the entire field. This guy's got crazy work ethic. This is what a lot of these Duke guys have, at least Zion and RJ. He's a fantastic shot creator, too. This guy can shoot. He can make shots, too. And he's also a playmaker. Having him at the 3 is going to be a fantastic thing for any team. It's just hopefully they can build more around the Knicks. The biggest thing that he's going to have to worry about, in my opinion, is he's going to have to worry about his little bit of consistency. But, yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing R.J. Barrett play in the pros. It's just a shame that he's going to be on the Knicks with nothing around him at the moment unless they do something with free agency or make some more noise today in the draft.
Their comparison was the comparison I asked you if R.J. Barrett pissed in your Cheerios. Their comparison for R.J. Barrett was Jalen Rose. He sent me a comparison last night of Jalen Rose. I said, damn, did he piss in your Cheerios?
The reason I think that he might be like Jalen Rose is because he is kind of that perimeter shooter that was like a power guard, like a forward guard in the beginning of. That's how Jalen Rose was in the beginning of his career under the Larry Bird kind of era. So I saw it, but once you brought it up, that I pissed in your Cheerios, made me second guess. I still think that this is a guy that is like Jalen Rose at the beginning of his career, though. That's all I want to say. I don't want to say anything else because we know how the rest of that ended. So look at this guy. Barrett's already got a jersey.
The number 4 pick is already in.
That name looks good on the back of a Knicks jersey, though. Yep. And now it does say the Lakers on the clock, but we obviously know that this pick was traded to New Orleans and then traded to Atlanta. So whoever this pick is right here is an Atlanta Hawks pick.
What if the Lakers just say, fuck it, we want DeAndre Hunter. Just blow everything up. We want everybody back. Sorry. Psych. They could do it. They can legally do that, by the way. It's not going until July 6th. They can. Just be like, psych.
Yeah, they can, but I don't think that's a smart move. I think if that happens, that's Rob Pelinka's out the door the next day.
It'd still be funny. Pink suit.
Oh, it'd be hilarious.
Al Horford, Corey Brewer. Thank you, John. It was Corey Brewer I was thinking of. That was the middle-of-the-road player I couldn't come up with the name of.
Yep.
It was Corey Brewer. And it played out of Florida. And that team, man, that was such a good national championship game, by the way. That was such a good national championship game. If we could go back in a time machine and watch one game in history, that was a good game right there. Florida, Ohio State national championship. Whew. Them boys were playing.
So R.J. Barrett's crying on TV.
His dad looks like Isaiah Thomas.
Very humble dude. Definitely being humble. All 3 of these guys have been very humble after they've been selected and had their interview. All of them look very humble, which is very cool.
Zion was lying his ass off, though. He's like, I never expected to be here. I never expected it. Yes, you the fuck did. He knew he was going to New Orleans. That's why he smiled when everybody asked him if he's going to the Knicks. He's like, I ain't going to the Knicks. RJ going to the Knicks.
So they say the Lakers are. They say the Lakers are on the clock.
Interview real quick.
What's that?
That interview. Zion, how would you feel if the Knicks got the number one overall pick and you had to go to the Knicks? I don't know. Yo, RJ, how would you feel if you had to go to the Knicks? Well, RJ, how you feel?
Yeah.
You gotta go to the Knicks, buddy. It's like Zion called that shit. You're going to the Knicks, I'm not. Deal with it. To me, that's honestly funny, though, that...
All right, so 1, 2, and 3 are down. This is when the draft starts getting interesting. We've said that on all our mock drafts while they're heading to commercial break. We'll do a little bit of talking here. Yeah, so one of the biggest questions I have right now is it says the Lakers are on the clock. We obviously know it went to the Pelicans, then it went to the Hawks. So when we're thinking it's DeAndre Hunter's, but whoever it is, when this draft pick comes up on stage, what hat does he wear? Does he wear a Lakers hat or does he wear a Hawks hat? That's a big question. What happens here?
NBA hat. It's just got an NBA logo on it.
That's a big. What happens here, man? Because it's technically officially.
Honestly, what he does is he probably on stage. He takes the one picture, they flip it off. He switches it to the other one. He takes a picture. He flips it off.
So does he have to switch it to 3 then?
Yeah.
He has to wear a Lakers and he has to wear a Pelicans and he has to. That's
John's
crazy.
saying the Lakers. I agree, but I think it'll be just for the rookie cards. It'll be all 3. Like they'll have him step to the side of the stage or something right after his interview and snap the 3 pictures.
That New York
No
Knicks
matter what
draft
happens
hat.
here,
now,
DeAndre Hunter's in for a hell of a ride in his career.
Mm-hmm.
And if he goes to the Hawks, that team looks sick next year. They just trade Taurean Prince for DeAndre Hunter, essentially. I mean, they've done some trading around, but they traded Taurean Prince's role out for DeAndre Hunter. And I think Taurean Prince, good player.
Yep.
DeAndre Hunter, going to be good out of high school. Yeah, Kobe did wear
So we just got a
Hornet
tweet.
hat.
It's true, he did. So we just got a tweet from Woj. It says Atlanta's GM, Travis Schlenk, I think that's how you say it, made that move into number 4 with an unmistakable prospect in mind. Virginia forward DeAndre Hunter. A year ago, he wanted Trae Young. This time, he wanted Hunter. Hawks building a legitimate young core. Couldn't agree more with Woj. Yeah, and they talk about Trae Young, but I want people not to forget about John Collins. I'm really high on this guy, and there's a reason why they're building the guards and they're not building the forwards with this pick that's coming up number 4 here. And that's why they moved up, because they're solid with Collins. Collins is a really good player, and they can build around him and Young, and now probably DeAndre Hunter, and then whoever they get at 10 as well. Atlanta's going to be fun to watch next year. Not saying they're going to be like the sexy pick to win the East or anything. They're still got a long way to go, but they're going to be very fun to watch.
Here's another question for you. What seed in the East next year are the Atlanta Hawks then?
Ask me that question after pick 10.
No, I'm asking you right now before free agency.
We'll do that again after pick 10. If I had to... Okay. If they go DeAndre Hunter, well, hang on. They're picking right now. Then I'll answer that question. Silver's on the clock.
Oh, there's a surprise. Our drafts are still good.
So DeAndre Hunter.
I guarantee you our top 5 is perfect.
There we go.
Unless somebody trades to 5.
So DeAndre Hunter is going to be an Atlanta Hawk. We have Trae Young, DeAndre Hunter, whoever they pick at 10, which hopefully it's a Jackson Hayes, and they got John Collins. If that happens, I see Atlanta as a number 6 seed. That's what I see them, as a team that they were not really solid. I'll say 7. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll say seed number 6 in the East.
I was thinking 6 when I asked you the question in my head
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Now,
if it's not Jackson Hayes,
they also have cap room too. They could go out and sign somebody along all these young guys.
Now that's including if it's Jackson Hayes at 8 or at 10 though.
Yeah.
Which who knows if he's even there.
Lakers hat is clean.
Yeah. That's
cool.
All those draft hats are.
I'm gonna have to cop that.
All those draft hats.
You know those shoes I showed you and the motherfucking. Yep. Oh man, I'm gonna have to cop that hat now. I don't even like the Lakers though. DeAndre Hunter.
Well, you can do it for the shoes.
All right, so DeAndre Hunter. We've said Kawhi Leonard. Any other names come to mind?
For DeAndre Hunter, yeah, I would say a few come to mind. Well, one in particular, and it's just Kawhi Leonard.
Damn. Okay.
It's just Kawhi Leonard.
There was
If I
one
had-
other name
yeah,
I had in
it's
mind.
just Kawhi Leonard.
He's a little bit older.
What's that?
He's not played in the league in
Okay.
a while, but he has that same grittiness, that same griminess that I love. Kind of
All right,
reminds
show
me
me
of
it.
Danny Granger.
Okay, yeah,
Like right now, Danny Granger.
yeah, that's fine.
Right now, I'm saying Danny Granger.
So
They said Jay Crowder. Ow.
that's what they're saying, Jay Crowder.
Okay, so I said Danny Granger. If you guys don't remember Danny Granger, at one time, Danny Granger was such a gritty player. He literally had his entire front teeth busted out on the hardwoods in Indianapolis, Indiana. But he got possession of that ball. Third or fourth seed, depending on Boston does in free agency, since Kyrie and Horford are gone. Wow, John, a third or fourth seed you think the Hawks are? That's a... Honestly, say they go out and they sign a Nikola Vucevic right now, with the roster they have right now in Atlanta, and they go, Nikola Vucevic, we'd love to have you on our roster. Imagine that.
All right, so let's talk about this real fast. Cleveland hasn't traded this pick yet. We still have 3 minutes to go. Your Timberwolves might be running out of time here.
And
Does
Woj
Cleveland
was
go ahead and
saying
get
that the
Darius
Cavs are
Garland?
focused on Darius Garland, yeah.
I think
Woj
that's
just
going to happen.
reported-
I think
Woj
Garland.
just reported the Cavs are going Garland. If they do that, then Minnesota just moved up to take Kobe White, and then we get to say the same dang thing about the Timberwolves of, oh, they move up to take a point guard when they don't really need one that bad. Damn it. I don't like that.
Well,
I could be wrong about Kobe White,
don't like-
but I don't like Kobe White.
he's fast. He's fast, man. Probably the fastest guy in the draft.
Reminds me of somebody else who was fast while they were drunk, and that's why they're no longer in the league, like Ty Lawson.
Darius Garland's good though. He's like he's kind of like Damian
I told you
Lillard,
the
maybe a
name
little
I
Jeff
think
Teague.
I've said it
And a little maybe
because
Jeff
of the
Teague.
injuries and everything. I think he's Kyrie Irving like.
Yeah.
I think he's like.
And then what do you
Kyrie
think about
Irving.
Kobe White? You think Kobe White's like Ty Lawson, right?
Yeah, I think he's a bust.
Ty Lawson, maybe Brandon Knight.
I think he's a bust.
Really?
I don't think he's top 6 worthy, man. I think this kid should be going maybe late in the lottery. I don't see this as a top 6 pick. If we take him here at 6, I think at this point now the Timberwolves got to go, well, shit, we got to move back. Call Boston.
Or do they go with Culver
Ooh.
so they can push out Wiggins or maybe let? Who knows?
Ooh, draft Jarrett Culver, trade Andrew Wiggins for another pick in this draft. Okay,
You never
I see
know.
you. I see you. I like that too. But if they take Darius Garland here, I'm kind of upset because the thing we've been needing in Minnesota is that playmaking point guard who, when I say a playmaking point guard, I don't mean a guy who can come up the court, throw the ball to Karl Anthony Towns and let Karl Anthony Towns play in the post. I mean a guy who come down, break his defender down, and make it where somebody else is open because he broke his defender down. And that's Darius Garland. My only comparison for Darius Garland, Kyrie Irving. Kind of funny that Cleveland would take him because Kyrie Irving.
Well, the crazy part about it is they're going to have Darius Garland and Sexton now.
You play them
and
together.
that's going to be your exactly. You kind of just got to figure it out because you got to. I think we talked about this during the mock last week on Sunday. They're in a rebuilding mode right now. They need to get the best players available, not what fits them the most, and then just figure it out from there. And I think that's what they need to do, and hopefully that's what they're listening. Pick is in. Cleveland is not trading the pick.
Yeah, I
So we'll
told
see
you
what
people
happens.
are really, really high on Darius Garland, though. That's what I keep my ear to the ground on these little, and I've sent you all these links that I go to, all these horrible rumor mills, and some of them are really good. But the thing that kept popping up on every single one, Darius Garland moving up the board could be a top 5
All
pick.
right. So here we go, Cleveland.
See if it's real right here.
Cavaliers select
Yep.
It's
Uh,
Garland.
so now,
Vanderbilt.
yeah, it's Garland out of
Wow.
Vanderbilt, as all the reports came out very last second. The thing
Mhm.
about this, it's great for the Cavaliers. Cavaliers are going to be. So the thing I like about this is the thing that's inspired this was initially it was the Golden State Warriors with the Splash Bros, and now you got the Portland
Yep.
Trailblazers with C.J. McCollum and Dame Lillard who do the same thing. I like the idea of Darius Garland and Colin Sexton in the backcourt together. I really enjoy that actually, but as a fan of the Timberwolves, god damn it. So I love the pick, but god damn it.
All right, so what happens here? We're going to 6 now. Well, let's talk a little more.
Rose just said that
How do you-
Minnesota's on
how do
the
you
clock
feel-
looking at trades. I don't know if you heard me.
What's that?
You were breaking up really bad. But Woj just said that the Minnesota are in trade talks.
Okay, what'd you? Oh, really? Minnesota is on the clock. Yeah, it's still on the phone discussing trades. Interesting.
Because Garland
So,
went 5.
They wanted this guy.
They wanted
So
Darius
hopefully they
Garland.
don't. Yeah, hopefully they didn't give up as much as they're going to get back. Hopefully they can at least break even here. But yeah, that's fantastic. That's crazy. Moving up and then having to move back.
Tells
If
you how
they
much
can
they
get
think
some
about
assets
somebody.
and get a plus game.
That right
Who
there
moves
tells
up
you
here?
how much. Boston, Washington, Detroit. That's all I got.
Okay.
I know you're probably
All
like
right.
Detroit. Where the hell did that come from? Detroit, if they could
Well,
get
no, I can see
Jarrett
that.
Culver, would be freaking awesome. And they wouldn't have to give up much.
What about- There was talks that OKC wanted to move up. Is that a thing?
You know, I don't like OKC, so I don't want to talk about them. I'm not going to talk about no OKC. Get Russell Westbrook out of there, I'll start liking OKC. Actually,
that's the
my
reason you don't
history
like
for OKC go deeper. Y'all took my favorite team in the NBA and got rid of it. Y'all took my favorite team in the NBA and got rid of it. I don't want to talk about no OKC Thunder. They'll never win a championship because they took a team from Seattle. I said it.
Yeah, we gotta get Seattle SuperSonics back in the league.
If the Seattle Supersonics were in the league, that'd be my team. I like the Timberwolves after the Sonics. Like, I like the Sonics and the Timberwolves, and as soon as Sonics left, I was like, well,
Yeah, Seattle would be a market too. People would love it.
mm-hmm.
People are dying for sports in Seattle. They're getting a hockey team. They're getting that in 2021. They would love it. So we got 2 minutes left, just over 2 minutes for this pick that Minnesota holds. Let's see if they hold on to it or they get some trades. Wonder if anybody's calling for it. Honestly, whoever trades up for it will be for Kobe White. So it'll be interesting to see who's interested in this pick.
But they could really just go, sorry, Phoenix, we don't want to do that deal no more.
They could.
But I really think it's going to be Wiggins in the 6 for Beal in the 9. And I think what's holding it up is they're wanting more than just Beal in the 9. I think they're trying to get something else. And Washington doesn't want to come off more than just Beal in the 9. Again, all speculation just out of my brain.
Mhm.
But I really could see it, and that would be fun.
Yep.
Bradley Beal comes to Minnesota, I'll be happy.
So, do you think that was a good? Do you think that was a good trade by the Timberwolves, giving up Sark and the 11 to move up to 6, or no?
Okay, so Sarge didn't really have a good role on our team. It wasn't bad, but he didn't have the best role on our team.
How's he
And
fit in Phoenix?
Who cares? We got him off of the Timberwolves. And we got up to 6.
Right, but like, how does he fit? How does
I
he
don't
fit
know,
in Phoenix
honestly.
though? Like, looking in the Phoenix roster, how do you see him?
I don't know what Phoenix is doing right now. They got two really good players right now, two of the top 50 players in the NBA. They can't even make the playoffs. So I don't know what to think of Phoenix and what their system is.
So, pick is in, and Minnesota is focused on Texas Tech Jarrett Culver, according to Woj here. So we might be seeing.
I'll take Jarrett.
We might be seeing Jared Culver going to the Timberwolves, and that would leave Kobe White for Chicago, who that's where we've been having him sit for a lot of our mocks. That'd be pretty insane. And that leaves Cam Reddish open for Reddish and.
I'm sorry, I'm like being a fan right now, being all quiet because I'm just really hoping Jarrett Culver goes to the fucking Timberwolves right now. I noticed this is not like me to be all like quiet as shit while it's. I want to see Timberwolves take motherfucking Jarrett Culver right here. I do not want to see them fuck this up.
Well, I'll let you know when Silver walks out, but
I want to see if they take Jarrett Culver. It tells me we're considering trading out Andrew Wiggins, and I would.
Now, maybe one of those move to the 2.
Maybe they put Andrew Wiggins on the pressure of like, play some freaking defense, bro. Just play some defense. Yeah. That's all we're asking out of you.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
This man hasn't played defense for 15 years. So
here he comes. Silver's walking out.
Come on, man. Let's see that ugly-ass red suit go to Minnesota.
And there it is.
I see yours is ahead of mine by a little bit, but if that's the case, that's
I'm not trying to say it. I'm waiting for you.
Wow, yours went way ahead of mine. I guess I need to refresh mine.
So Jared Culver going to the Timberwolves.
Yeah, he's not even on the freaking... He's just now walking up to the podium for me.
Oh, wow.
I like it. I love it. It's what
good.
we needed.
Glad.
We need that
good
for
it's good for
Jimmy. Maybe this will be Jimmy Butler without the fucking attitude.
Well, if that's the case, then they found they can just fill in Butler to where he was, and Wiggins and Culver can work together. That might just be a thing. So we'll see. Maybe they trade Wiggins later on. Who knows what their actual plan is? But what we know next is the Chicago Bulls are on the clock, and Kobe White is still available. I feel like this is a given here. I think Chicago's got to go Kobe White if they decide to keep this pick.
Is what Woj keeps saying. Woj keeps saying they're interested in Kobe White and Kobe White only.
And I think that's the way they need to go. Where else would you go if you're Chicago here? Would you go Cam Reddish? Would you go
Possibly.
Jackson Hayes? Would you go Brandon Clark? What over Kobe White right now? Would it be worth trading down? Would it be worth listening to offers?
I mean, I've told you how I feel about Kobe White.
The player you wanted?
If I'm Chicago, I'm staying away from Kobe White. But that's just me because I feel like this dude is a bust.
Well, Minnesota listened to you, so maybe that'll help you in the future.
Oh, I love the idea of Jarrett Culver. Love the idea of Jarrett Culver. Jimmy Butler is who I think of every time I see him.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive presence, can do his thing on offense. Love it.
Well, I'm gonna say, it's not really out on a limb, but I'm gonna solidify my pick, and I'm saying that the Bulls go with Kobe White here. It's not they don't have another pick till 38. Yeah, I see that happening.
Chris Dunn is not the answer at point guard.
Yeah.
But I think you got Otto Porter. I think Kobe White's a bust.
Yeah, maybe
and
you're
I'm
wrong.
willing to take that one on the chin. If this kid comes out and averages a double next year, I'm willing to take that on the chin. But I think Kobe White's a bust. I'll say that right now.
And then after the Bulls, we have the Pelicans. And then we don't know what happens from there.
Cam Reddish is still there easily. Cam Reddish looks great for them. Like we said, how does that fit in with Brandon Ingram? Maybe Cam Reddish tries to play shooting guard.
I think if the Pelicans are smart, they go big guy. They try to fill Julius Randle's void after him just opting out.
Jackson Hayes.
I mean, I hope they do.
I mean, I think it's just me and you are both like
That's
personally
another
high
question.
on Jackson Hayes, but I love Jackson Hayes.
I like Hayes. I really like Hayes. If they go Jackson Hayes and Washington's on the clock at 9 and Cam Reddish is still there,
you take Cam
team
Reddish,
that they're looking
and
to
then
dish out.
Bradley Beal out the door.
Exactly, right? So this could be falling into places for a lot of teams here right now.
It's almost like the NBA is rigged or something.
I don't think it's rigged. If you got two small market teams going 1 and 2, you got Zion Williamson going to New Orleans. I don't think it's rigged.
Real talk. You don't think the NBA is rigged? That the two smallest market teams in the entire NBA got the first and second overall pick when their percentages are way better than the teams, or way worse than the teams that were above them? New York is already a very well-respected market. You don't think they can bounce back from getting the number 3 overall pick and fucking R.J. Barrett, who's going to be a superstar in his own right, and let the two smallest market teams get 2 superstars on their team so people will go watch and buy tickets and buy the NBA pass? You don't think that's slightly sus? I've been saying this for a minute. I think this is rigged, but hey, that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's always room for...
I think the draft is rigged.
Speculation.
I think the draft is rigged. I think the draft, they look at the markets, they look at the teams that are close to the top of the draft, and then they look at ticket sales, and then the ticket sales, they go for teams that are lower on ticket sales. Look at last year, you got the Phoenix Suns, number 1 overall. They had really bad ticket sales, right? And you got... That's a whole nother subject for another day, I guess, but I really do think the NBA draft lottery is rigged. I think there's a reason it's rigged like it's rigged, and it used to be way worse rigged than it is now, and there's proof of it in videos.
No, that's true. Yeah, that it used to be rigged. I don't know if you
Rose
could
to the
still
Bulls.
say it, but
Rose to the Bulls, 2% chance. Rose to the Bulls. When the Bulls had a really bad market, rose to the Bulls. Who was shocked? The Chicago native with the Chicago. NBA.
All right, here we go. Pick. Here we go, Chicago. It's not Derrick Rose this time,
I wish it was.
but it could be another guard.
Kobe White ain't nothing to Derrick Rose.
And Kobe White.
Is that who it is?
Kobe White gets selected by Chicago Bulls.
How
Yep.
fucking far behind am I? Because this man ain't even walked out yet.
Oh, wow.
So, Kobe White, I don't really want to talk about him. So, I'm going to go take a quick break. I'm going to step away, and I'm going to let you discuss him, okay?
All right, yeah, that sounds good. I like Kobe White. I think I'm a little more high on him than Derrick is. I think he's going to be good. I think he's super fast. I like I said, his top end speed. This guy's got a very high motor. He's from UNC, very prestigious school. These ACC basketball teams always give good products. Yeah, there's always your bust or whatever, but this was a guy I had sitting for Chicago at 7 for both of my mock drafts. This guy's been averaging 16 points a game, 4 assists. His field goal percentage isn't as good as you'd want it to be, but he is a point guard. Yeah, he's got to worry about his turnovers a little bit. That's something he's got to work on and refine. It's just a little raw on that side with his ball handling. But other than that, this guy's a competitor. I like him. He's like a Brandon Knight to me. That's how I see him. Derrick likes to see him as a Ty Lawson, but like he said, he thinks he's a bust. So this is something, or that one too. So that's something you got to think of here. That's probably the first pick that we really disagree on liking or disliking. I'm sure that won't be the last one because there's some guys that I'm not really high on in the draft that I know he's high on, and we'll have to debate about that one later on. But Kobe White, nevertheless, is your 7th overall pick heading to Chicago. Probably going to share some time with Dunn, working with Levine, and yeah, that's an Otto Porter Jr. They have a chance to make a little bit of noise in the East, but I don't think they're a playoff team. Yeah, that's it.
I don't like it. I don't like him at all. I don't like UNC point guards. I have an issue with the pick. But with that being said, they really needed a point guard. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't like it. I don't like it. That's kind of why I let him discuss it more than me and let me just step away for a minute because I don't like it. I think that was the last person they should have put on their team. I think they should have tried to trade Chris
Chauncey
Dunn.
Billups comparing this guy to. They're comparing him to Gilbert Arenas.
Is he going to put a gun in his locker room and talk to his teammate about it too?
I think they're just comparing him on the court, not off the court, but yeah. So we'll move on. We got 3 minutes left on pick number 8. And it's going to be the Atlanta Hawks are going to be officially selecting, but this is the Pelicans' final trade. Well, at least as of right now, the final pick for the first round. They got Zion already. Cam Reddish from Duke is still sitting there. This is somewhere that we think that maybe Jackson Hayes could go. That's where we're hoping. But there's still a couple other guys that could pop up. Nasir Little is still available on the board. Cam Reddish is still available on the board. You got Senpe Doumbia is still there. There's a lot of players that are still available, or we could be surprised, or Pelicans could move it even again.
Yeah, because that's what Woj just said.
Oh, really?
Literally, Roger just said that. I got a tweet from Woj. New Orleans still discussing trades today.
Wow.
That means somebody wants Cam Reddish, and they're willing to move it. I think they're trying to get Bradley Beal.
Wonder if you see Boston try to move up for Cam Reddish.
This is a hot take. I think the Pelicans are trying to get Bradley Beal. I think the Pelicans are trying to get Bradley Beal. I think the Pelicans like Bradley Beal, and they've been trying to get him for a while. And they might be holding Cam Reddish as bait right now. Going, bro, we could just draft him, and you got to take Soko Doumbia. You want to deal with that?
Yeah.
I think.
I
think
if they're going to trade,
the Pelicans are looking at Beal is because the Pelicans don't have that veteran presence on the team to go with everybody. They got a bunch of good young guys.
Mm-hmm.
Name the vet. Drew Holiday?
Yeah, you'd have to say he's probably the vet right now.
Yeah, but Drew Holiday? Would you rather have Drew Holiday or Bradley Beal?
Oh, that's without a doubt Brad Beal.
Right.
And you can afford that money too because you're not really giving up any. You got rid of Anthony Davis's pick, so you can afford it.
Real hot take before it gets tweeted to me, and I'm just going to guess this. Bradley Beal for the number 8 overall pick, Drew Holiday in the 35th pick.
Interesting.
Hot take. I think it would be perfect trade for both teams. Because
That's
you don't
crazy
have a
hot
point
take.
guard next year, and Drew Holiday plays shooting guard and point guard. So he can convert over to shooting guard as soon as John Wall is healthy again.
Well, if they don't trade, Woj just posted out something that's going to make you and I very happy. New Orleans is focused on Jackson Hayes at number 8 per source.
Please, 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 please.
So if it doesn't work out, that's something that you and I are very happy. And man, with that Zion and Jackson, man.
We're going to have to discuss that NBA season pass thing.
Yeah, right. Pelicans might be getting a hat. The draft hat might be a Pelicans hat if they get Jackson Hayes, because this is my dude, man.
Hat of those two teams.
And that opens up Washington getting Cam Reddish, which is great. That's my local team, so I'm excited. So if they go and get Jackson Hayes here,
part of that is you can get rid of Bradley Beal now if you get Cam Reddish.
Exactly.
Now you have the
leverage. So the pick is in, no trades.
Okay.
So I'm just going back to commercial here.
Tell me who it is.
I'll let you know. Yeah, absolutely. So key players on this Hawks team, which it's the Pelicans. So it's not really the Hawks. I don't know why they're showing the Hawks, but because Pelicans are the ones that are taking this pick.
On their pick right now, still.
Right. Man, Zion and Jackson Hayes would be insane.
Let's just go through this lineup if they draft Hayes here. Actually, let's just wait till the pick is in, shall we?
Yeah. So what was just posted out again? David Griffin imagines the most athletic front court in the NBA with Zion Williamson and Texas center Jackson Hayes together. That's 100% true. Jackson Hayes is athletic as hell, shot blocker. Zion can basically play the guard and power forward if you want to. Oh, man. Jackson Hayes completely just Julius Randle who if Hayes comes in and takes it off. Really like this if they stick with him. Yeah, I really like it if they stick with it. So here comes Adam Silver. He's coming out.
Julius who?
So he's gone. He opted out. So.
Oh, the Hawks took the Solomon Hill contract too?
And that's it. So
wow.
The New Orleans Pelicans have got Jackson Hayes.
Okay, so let's talk about this lineup.
Yeah,
we just got rid of $10 million Solomon Hill too. $12 million Solomon Hill. Great move.
Okay, I didn't see that. I didn't see that came in.
Yeah, in the draft.
That was in the trade?
They traded him to the Hawks. So that trade also solidifies that $12 million gone. So now we got room for a free agent if we get rid of Drew Holiday. That's a max contract slot. So let's take that.
We still have number 17 sit.
And we had the 17 too. So let's take this lineup and let's just say this lineup for you because this is a sexy lineup in my opinion. Right now, with Drew Holiday still on the team, you got Lonzo Ball, Drew Holiday, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Jackson Hayes as your starting five. And then you take you re-sign Jahlil Okafor because he's on a extension.
They did. They just picked up his player option. Picked it up.
Beautiful, because that's the greatest six-man to come off the bench for Jackson Hayes, because once he gets in a little bit of foul trouble, Jahlil Okafor is an underrated man on this team. So I love this pick.
So they keep 17 to get a number 7 guy?
I'm going to say it right now.
Number 17 to get a number 7?
I'm going to say it right now. New Orleans Pelicans, number 7 seed in the West next year.
Ooh.
Number 7, if not the number 6, if not the
so
number 6 or 5.
What's going on with 17 with New Orleans, though? What's going on with number 17? Did they go and draft a role player, a bench player, maybe a shooting guard like Tyler Hero or someone?
You're hoping one of the Gonzaga guards or one of the Gonzaga forwards falls to 17, and if you don't, then you look and see who's there. If you don't like it, trade it away.
I would personally, if I was New Orleans, I would personally like a Tyler Hero or a Nikolai Alexander-Walker,
Hero
one of those
nice.
pretty
Romeo Langford would also look nice.
You could bring that
Here's
in.
My issue with that, though, is maybe a backup point guard like Nikolai Alexander-Walker, like you just stated out, because you already have Drew Holiday starting, and then you got Josh Hart coming off the bench. And if you don't know about Josh Hart was a great player off the bench for the Lakers.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that kid is good. When they got him in that trade, that was like the piece. I was like, damn, they got that? Okay. So, the idea, and they just compared him to Tyson Chandler.
Really?
Try Tyson Chandler with offense, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one.
No, me neither, because Tyson Chandler didn't average, 82% in college from the freaking...
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Based off the blocks and his field goal percentage, he averaged over 2 blocks a game. He was at 73% field goal percentage.
73.
Jackson Hayes.
I was looking for it on my stuff.
73%. I like to compare him to Whiteside because of the blocks. He has got high percentage. I know that we're kind of seeing a little decline of Whiteside. But initially, when you had all the hype of Hassan Whiteside, that's how I see Jackson Hayes right now coming into this draft. That's my player comparison to Hayes. I really like this guy.
I think of him as a Jared Allen, who's not getting enough credit in Brooklyn. I don't think Jared Allen gets enough credit in Brooklyn. He plays really good defense in Brooklyn, and Jackson Hayes reminds me a lot of Jared Allen.
He's probably going to get a lot less credit in Brooklyn still. Brooklyn's an interesting team. Talking about maybe not even pursuing Kyrie anymore because they're not in talks with KD. Brooklyn is going to be something we talk about for weeks to come, probably all the way up until NBA preseason.
You know who I'm excited to see next year?
New Orleans Pelicans?
I'm talking about next year's draft.
The Pels? Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to see Wiseman in next year's draft. James Wiseman. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to him. He's in high school still. He's going to be going to college this year for the 1 year, and maybe even going to Australia. James Wiseman is a very good center / power forward in today's game. He'll be interesting to see.
So the Wizards, oh man, the Wizards just drafted, and they just got Hachimura.
Whoa!
Man. Whoa!
Wait, didn't I say this in our first draft? In our first mock?
Hachimura.
I think I may have had this in
Wow.
our first mock. I'd have to go back and look, but you know how I feel about Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, I like him too. I thought that he was going to go a little lower because I liked him. I just liked how he fit in Indiana.
This is who
But
Washington.
wow, look at
this is
that.
who he talked to that they didn't go to the combine. He didn't go to the scouting stuff. This is who he talked to. They're like, if you're at 9, we're going to tell you. By the way, this is the first Japanese player ever drafted into the NBA. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. He is the first Japanese player to be drafted. So congratulations.
So with
on
that being said, Atlanta's on the clock now, and Cam Reddish is still available.
Maybe they really do like Bradley Beal and they want to keep him because Rui Hachimura and Bradley Beal together would look fun.
Don't forget John Wall. They don't really have any big games right now, big guys.
John
they have
Wall is not going to be
Jabari
back till
Parker
2020.
is their power forward, but Rui is going to be good.
I think
he's going to be.
Rui's
This
play
guy's
small
got.
forward.
That's a possible. I mean, if you're going to have Jabari Parker on the court, then yeah.
So I seen an interesting
Yeah,
video on Rui Hachimura because I watch a lot of scouting stuff on YouTube because it's the easiest place to watch a lot of scouting stuff. And when you start to watch stuff comes up in your suggested feed. A thing popped up said Rui Hachimura the next Giannis Antetokounmpo ?
Interesting.
And so I watched the video and the guy's talking about how he has that same physical mindset. And he kind of puts his head down and will drive to the bucket. But the thing I got to say about Hachimura versus Antetokounmpo is Antetokounmpo's defense is a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Hachimura has a better jump shot right now. But it was an interesting comparison. Wow, they just said Kawhi Leonard. Wow.
They said, yeah, but they said a young Kawhi Leonard when they were playing defense. Like a defensive young Kawhi Leonard, which I can see.
He was still a MVP of a championship team, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yep.
Take that.
So Atlanta at number 10 now, and they're Woj is posting out there. They're focused on Cam Reddish, which that's who we had in one of our mocks. We had Cam Reddish going. And that just makes sense. Atlanta taking Cam Reddish. If that happens today at number 10, I wouldn't be surprised.
If he goes to the Hawks, that's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Reddish and Trae Young.
Reddish and Trae Young and DeAndre Hunter and John Collins and Alex Lynn. Fuck.
Yep.
Alex Lynn is underrated, by the way. He's not the greatest, but he's underrated.
So, yeah, if Reddish goes, because
real quick,
we had
if Reddish
Jackson
falls
Hayes
out
going
of
to
the top
10.
10, is there something wrong with Reddish?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think there's maybe a nagging injury that was bothering him last year?
I'll tell you what, Phoenix would probably love if Cam Reddish dropped down one more pick, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Phoenix would be looking like the geniuses of this draft if Cam Reddish falls one more pick.
Yeah, no, I don't see that happening. Who knows what happens now? Because I thought Washington was set on Doumbia, which I was really, really disappointed. I did not want them to take Doumbia. So this Hachimura, this is great for Washington.
Yeah, I love it. I'm going to watch some Washington games next year now.
Yeah. Yeah, Washington's going to be fun to watch.
I think that guy's going to be fun to watch. Not just Washington. I think that guy's going to be fun to watch in the NBA.
Hmm.
I think those two, now, if Washington could move back in and get Brandon Clark, I look like a genius because I said at the beginning of this draft I wanted to see those two play together in the NBA. So, come on, Washington, make me look smart. Trade Jabari Parker.
Man, how crazy is that? So that's probably
I'm still just thinking
biggest
about it because that's my guy. I was wanting him to go to Minnesota, but I'm happy with him in Washington. That was my guy in this draft.
You got Culver, though.
Him and Jackson
You got
Hayes
Culver,
were the two
though.
Oh, yeah. Jared Culver's going to look good in Minnesota. Jackson Hayes, Rui Hachimura were the two guys in this draft that I think are going to have the two biggest upsides on the next level. A lot of these guys, DeAndre Hunter, I feel like DeAndre Hunter is like this far off of his ceiling, even though his ceiling is really freaking good. Who else? Jared Culver. Jared Culver's a great defender. How better is that jump shot going to get?
Mm-hmm.
Rui Hachimura, Jackson Hayes, those two are just going to skyrocket in the NBA, and if I'm right.
Yep.
If I'm right, Jackson Hayes may be a superstar alongside Zion Williamson next year, and they may very well, as a front court, average 7 to 9 blocks a game between the two of them. Well, not between the two of them, between those two, Jahlil Okafor and whoever your backup power forward is. The front court, I bet you 9 blocks a game is what that team gets next year, because Zion is so athletic. Man. And we still got another, like, I say we when I do this, I think of it as like a GM mode. I immediately go into GM mode, so I say we. The Pelicans still have the 17. The Pelicans are still sitting there going, we just got the best front court in the NBA right now. Argue it. And then we're going to go ahead and...
So after 17...
And we got Brandon Ingram.
After 17...
Superstar.
Yep. After 17, we're going to have to ask who won the draft. Because it's going to be between Atlanta and it's going to be between the Pelicans. That's who's going to win this draft.
We got to wait till 24.
17.
24.
Okay.
Because we got to go...
And why is that?
Boston.
The Celtics, too?
Yeah, we got to see what Boston does with those 3 picks, what they do. Do they trade those for a player? Because if the Boston Celtics takes those 3 picks, throw those together with a Terry Rozier or a Marcus Smart and trade for Bradley Beal, I say they may have won the draft. Because Bradley Beal is the guy right now everybody's asking what's going on. And maybe Washington just told us, we want him to stay here. Because when you draft somebody like Rui Hachimura, you're making a statement of what you, 1, think of that kid, and 2, want in your future your NBA or of your organization. And maybe they really do like Bradley Beal and John Wall together. Maybe they're waiting to get John Wall healthy so they can trade John Wall because they really want to keep Bradley Beal as the centerpiece of that team.
Yeah. So this 10th overall pick that Atlanta's holding on here, this was from the Trae Young trade that they had last year.
Which is
they moved down 2 spots and they moved down 2 spots and they got this pick. So here comes Adam Silver, the 10th overall pick, the Atlanta Hawks. They will
CP3
select.
trade. That's another one. CP3 trade.
And Cam
I'm sorry,
Reddish.
I forgot it.
There it is. So
Cam
Reddish
Reddish to the Hawks. Oh my goodness.
will be on the Atlanta Hawks.
Ooh. So now we got. Ooh.
So that is.
Ooh. Sorry, Herder. Sorry, Herder. You just rode the pine, buddy. Sorry, Herder. You're gonna be a great 6-man for Cam Reddish, buddy. Oh my goodness. Hawks are looking good, man.
Reddish on the Hawks. So our Duke, all 3 of our Duke guys are off the board. We got Zion Williamson on the Pelicans, R.J. Barrett on the Knicks, and Cam Reddish at Duke. So 3 in the top 10.
Okay, so let me say this right now. After we talk about who won the draft, it's gonna be the hardest fucking talk we've ever had. Because the Atlanta Hawks look really good. The the Pelicans so far look really good. We don't even know what they're about to do at 17.
Yep.
We don't know what Brooklyn's doing with their picks. Man. Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter.
All right, so we're 10 picks in. It's going to be a fantastic time for me to step away for a second, take a break.
Go ahead.
Derek, talk more about Cam Reddish. Talk about this Atlanta team.
I'm going to talk about this Atlanta team.
Where do you see these guys going? All right, fantastic. See you in a second.
All right. So if these guys go, like at the 17th pick, if they can get a big man out of this, the one I've been talking about is Bruno Fernando. If he's still sitting there at 17, I think that's a great pick for this team because then their starting 5 is going to look like a Trae Young, a Cam Reddish, Darius Hunter, John Collins, and then you throw a Bruno Fernando who I compared to a DeAndre Ayton. I think the team could be really good. They already have Alex Lynn at the 5 spot, who's a really good player. He's really underrated. Cam Reddish, I think he brings a really good upside to the shooting guard position, and I think it's going to be really fun to see him and DeAndre Hunter on the same team with a Trae Young. I don't think there's any way these two could really do anything bad. The comparison that just came through for Cam Reddish is Paul George, and I actually like that comparison because he does have the 3-and-D mentality, but he also could be a superstar on the next level. I think he fits in well with this Atlanta team, and I think this Atlanta team, with picking up Cam Reddish, maybe a 3 or 4 seed, like John was just saying in the chat earlier. So I really do like this Atlanta team. I really think that Cam Reddish is going to be a big addition to the team. I think he underperformed at Duke. In my personal opinion, Duke, when they took and they had that team together, I think it was good, but I don't think it was what they were expecting, because I thought they would think they would all be cohesive together, and Cam Reddish kind of just became a role player on that team, whereas Cam Reddish, like in a lot of games, has been the MVP of the game. So I think Cam Reddish could be the great player to go along this Hawks team. And this Hawks team could be one of the scary young teams in the NBA. And as long as they don't do any silly trades and try to get rid of somebody because they think they need to, so people aren't stepping on each other's toe or contracts or whatever, I think if they just let this team ride out, we could see this team in the Eastern Conference Finals in the next 4 to 5 years. Very easily, because I think Trae Young is an MVP candidate in the next 5 years as well. I think he has great potential as a point guard. John Collins is a very, very good power forward, very athletic, has good blocking abilities. And, I mean, there's not a lot more to be said about Cam Reddish, because I feel like that's kind of beating the drum on Cam Reddish. But this team overall is going to be a lot of fun to see. DeAndre Membry is going to be coming off the bench. Kevin Huerter is going to be coming off the bench. And I think that when you get this team all together, it's actually going to be a lot of fun to see everybody kind of cohesive and working together. I think DeAndre Hunter is going to be a three-point just nightmare out there. I think Cam Reddish is going to be a tough matchup in the NBA. Trae Young has already proven to be a tough matchup in the NBA, and he also has great three-point ability. And John Collins is also just a defensive asset that is just unheard of, and he has where he can just jump out of the gym on layups. And I see that Christian is now back.
Yeah, what's up? I was just finishing your conversation. So I just got a tweet 2 minutes ago from Woj. I don't know if you saw it, from Phoenix's VP of Basketball Operations. But it said Jeff Bower had Cam Johnson on campus for a recruiting visit. In his first season, a week later, Pitt offered him, and Bower lost him to the ACC. 5 years later, Bower gets Johnson on his team with the 11th pick. So looks like we got Cam Johnson going for the 11th pick.
Cam Johnson, 11th?
That's what it looks like possibly here. I'm going to refresh my feed and make sure that I am up to date.
No, you're probably ahead of me, but if Cam Johnson goes 11, I had him going in the 20s. I had him going in the 20s. If I disrespected your name like that, I am sorry, Cam Johnson.
I don't think I didn't see that coming either, so
me neither.
Maybe that's something that Phoenix just sees fit in their scheme. Yeah, remember they're a whole bunch of young group, so.
Well, they saw Justin Jackson fit in their scheme too. How'd that
Cameron Johnson. So Cameron Johnson, small forward from North Carolina,
Nasir Little
is on the Phoenix Suns.
Before Nasir Little, how do you feel about that?
That's insane. I'm surprised.
Do you think they're seeing something, or are they missing here? I think they're missing, and we're right.
I mean, the guy can shoot. There's no doubt about that. He was fantastic to watch in North Carolina. He's probably got one of the best shooting forms in the draft, but I didn't see him going above Nasir Little. I can see him easily going over Doumbia. Doumbia is one of those kind of players that has to be for a settled team, whatever happens there.
I've been waiting to see Doumbia fall out of the lottery because I don't think he's lottery worthy.
Yeah. So I thought the first crazy pick was going to be this next pick, and that's number 12 with the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, now who knows what happens here? Hopefully they don't go with Doumbia.
Bol, number 12.
If they go Bol, they have Brandon Clark. Brandon Clark is still there.
I know. Bol. It's a Charlotte move. I think sometimes you don't take Bol Bol.
So-
I don't. Sometimes I think you take into consideration like what you would do as a GM. We got to think about what a 9 drinks in, maybe 10 drinks in, Michael Jordan is thinking in the war room. Because one, this is taking a while, so Jordan's been drinking. He might take Bol Bol on a
If
bet
I'm
with somebody
Charlotte
too.
right here- if I'm Charlotte, I want to go Nasir Little. That's what I would go. If he fell to you at 12.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
because then
going
you're
with.
able to get rid of the mistake you made all those years ago. Get killed, like Kid Gilchrist.
How crazy is that? Cam Johnson. Did not see that one coming. So, a couple surprises we've had here towards the end of this first third of the first round. Wow. Absolutely insane. And now, what we thought was going to start being the crazy part of the draft, now we just don't know. It's just going to be whatever it is now. So, you think it's going to be Bol Bol? I'm going to go ahead and say I think Nasir Little. I think that this guy just falls into their lap. Who knows what happens with Kemba Walker? But I don't think they go at a point guard here. I think they try to find a way to.
So
You
is
just
that
try to
really
find
the
a way
only
to
Woj
find the
talked
best
about it
available player.
again. Woj talked about it again about the reason that they
Mhm.
drafted him, about the fact that he missed out on him all those years ago. Is that really the only reason you drafted this kid? Because if so, man, you really screwed up. If Cam Johnson comes out next year and puts up, 18 points a game, then I'm sorry I was wrong, but I don't see him as the 11th overall.
Phoenix is one of
pick.
those young teams that have a lot. Yeah, Phoenix has a lot of very, very young players. Who knows?
They miss a lot,
So, all right, Charlotte Hornets. Last year they drafted Miles Bridges with the 12th overall pick.
which was a good pick,
Um,
but it's kind of hard to miss on either of the Bridges
That was
brothers.
a good pick. Mm-hmm. So, who adds to Miles Bridges and company?
Look at this draft list and tell me. I see 3 good picks out of the last 8 years.
Yeah.
3 good picks.
Well,
Malik
according
Monk,
to
Miles Bridges,
according
Kemba
to
Walker.
what Woj just reported, Charlotte is discussing trades with the number 12 pick. So we'll see what happens. We
How
still got
are
a
you
minute and
getting
25
these?
seconds.
Tell me why your notifications are even coming in earlier than mine right now. What the hell?
Well, I'm refreshing. I'm not doing notifications. I'm just refreshing Twitter feeds straight on Woj. So
Oh, well, fine then. Show off.
yeah, so it'll just show up. You'll say see new tweets, and I just click that baby. So as soon as he tweets it, I'm getting it. So that came out 50 seconds ago, and I told you a minute ago. So I was 10 seconds before Woj and reporting Woj's tweet. So I'm good.
They're focused on PJ Washington is what it's saying. But I told you they do some dumb shit.
Hey, what I say though? He ain't going past 13. What pick is it?
Oh, yeah. But it's a Charlotte ass move.
I said that. Hey, I said that he's not going past 13.
I said Bobo because I thought it was funny, but damn. Oh, man. He's like, I couldn't get somebody to shoot last time. I'm going to get somebody who shoots this time, you assholes. Wow.
You don't like it, huh?
No. I had Nazir Little.
I like it.
I had Nazir Little, Brandon Clark. Is that enough to keep Kemba Walker in town?
Well, I don't know. But that does open up Brandon Clark to possibly going to Boston at 14. Like, a lot of people want that to happen. Brandon Clark on Boston would be crazy.
I want him to
Unless
fall to
Miami
17.
picks him up.
Let's see Minnesota move. Or
I don't
not
think he
Minnesota.
passes.
Let's see New Orleans move back in and take Brandon Clark just to have him come in 6-man. Honestly, though, it's really looking like what
That'd be interesting.
we were really discussing that Romeo Langford to New Orleans. It's looking like that could be a really possibility at this point with how everybody's fallen. Because
Yeah.
Okay, so if
Would you take Hero or would you take Langford
Langford,
if they're both there? Really? I think I'd go the opposite. Just got like his
Langford.
shooting ability, but
No, Langford.
okay.
Not taking Hero to the 20s. In
Is
my
it-
personal
is it-
opinion.
Really? Wow.
The risk is not there. or the risk is too much, in my opinion.
All right, so the Hornets
Yep.
just drafted
P.J. Washington.
P.J. Washington.
He's a shooter, so we can't say it's like
I
Michael
told you he wasn't going
Gilchrist. He's a shooter.
Yeah, he wasn't going past 13. I said it. I said that
I
out
don't
loud.
think Washington
I was
would-
very
or,
determined.
I don't think Miami would have taken him. I think he may have fell to Boston.
Really?
Yeah, I think he may have went to Boston at 14. I don't think Miami was taking him. Miami's going after Sekou Doumbia.
Really?
Yeah.
You
Hot
think that he
take.
goes that? Really?
They're going after
I
Sekou.
think
they're
that
going
they-
after Sekou Doumbia. They
I
wanna
think
get
this is
Sekou
where-
Doumbia. They need a power forward to go.
Nah, I think this is where Nasir Little falls.
I think it's Sekou Doumbia. I think they go
I
with
think
the
it's
foreign
just-
guy. Either I think it's the power forward. I think that's what they want, and that's why I say Sekou over Nasir Little.
We don't
If
go
Nasir
Brandon Clark
Little
though.
falls to 14, though, it's still going to be Brandon Clark at 14.
Yeah, yeah. I think Boston, if they can get Brandon Clark at 14, if he's still there, that's where he's going. And I think that's the only pick Boston should pick if they
I'm
get
telling
Brandon
you,
Clark.
For
And
some
then,
weird reason, I have a feeling Miami's going Sekou Doumbia. Like you can.
well,
look
they
at,
got 4 minutes left on the clock.
I'm about to say you can look at your Woj sheet.
And I see
ain't
nothing
seen-
from Woj
I ain't-
yet.
Yeah, I'm about to say I ain't seen
Nothing
nothing
yet.
to say in that. I'm saying I think they're going after Sekou Doumbia right here. That's just a hot take. I think they're going after Sekou Doumbia.
All right, and I'll go Nasir Little because that guy, he's got to go. It's crazy that he's already gone back to 13.
Nas in
So-
Detroit would look nice.
Yeah,
Nas in Detroit would look real nice if he felt, because if he falls to 14, he's falling to 15, and that's going to be a huge pay cut between the lottery and not. But Detroit would love to get
Mhm.
Nasir Little.
Mm-hmm. So I'm personally excited for Nikolai Alexander Walker, wherever that guy falls. He's a Virginia Tech product. I'm really excited to
He's
see where
going
that
to
guy
Boston.
happens. So,
They're going to Boston. They're going
Ah.
to buy Kyrie.
well, Kyrie's going. There's no doubt. He's not coming back.
Well, apparently
He
they
opted
had
out. I
talks
don't
with
see
him
him ever coming
after they said. After he said he opted out, they had talks with him and Al Horford about doing 4-year contracts each, and then they contracts or talks have stopped.
Yeah, I heard that he ghosted Celtics. He ghosted him.
I was about to say, according to the rumors I'd heard, they offered him a 4-year contract and Al Horford a contract at the exact same time, and they never got back a hold of. He never got back a hold of the Celtics, but they sent them both the same. They're not the same exact contract, but they sent them a contract at the same exact time, saying we want you two still in Boston. And Boston was like, nah. Kyrie's like, nah, I'm good. I'm looking at going to Brooklyn, bro. I'm gonna go hang out for the draft and just stay
that
there.
may happen. And that might not even happen now. So who knows?
Here's a fun hot take. What if Kyrie Irving doesn't go to Brooklyn and ends up in Dallas?
Dallas, huh?
Dallas.
I think if Brooklyn falls through, I think the Knicks make a really big push on him.
Yeah, but the Knicks are the Knicks, bro. They're going to end up with Jeremy Lin on a max
Exactly.
contract because he just came off of the freaking
No, but-
winning the
Hey, he's an
championship.
NBA champion.
He's an NBA
He's an
champion,
NBA
bro.
champion,
Max
right?
contract.
It goes full circle. It goes full circle, all right?
He's a champion. We'll pay him max money. He'll come win a championship with us. Logic, right?
That's right. Yeah. What's his name, too? Meeks.
No,
Meeks is
who they
also
need
an
to
NBA
sign
champion.
is,
Just remember that.
who they need to sign is the kid who was at Golden State and then went over to the Warriors, then went to the Raptors. Looney, not Looney.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it? You can help me out here. He's a 3-time champion now. He's won the last 3 championships in a row.
Where'd
is
he-
what they
where'd he
were
come-
saying. He was on the Raptors last year. They were saying he's been an NBA champion 3 years in a row now. Patrick McCall. Thank you, John.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to sign Patrick McCall on a max contract to be their new starting point guard of the future. Yeah, I couldn't think of it, but thank you. Yeah, Patrick McCall. Yeah, they're going to offer him a max contract. Woj only said nothing. I think he fell asleep at the draft.
Oh man, this has been a good draft so far for sure. And this is why we're only doing the first round. This is taking forever. We're already 2 hours deep in this, and we're only not even at halfway through the first round. There's no way that we could do this
Miami, Tyler
this whole
Hero.
draft. This first round, that's it. What's that?
Woj said Miami.
What'd you
Tyler
say there?
Hero.
Tyler Hero, really?
That's what Woj just.
That's a little.
reported.
That's a jump.
That's interesting.
Well, we'll see if that happens. If that happens, that's a good pick for Miami. He's a great shooter, fantastic shooter.
Yeah, Woj just
yeah.
said Miami's focused on Tyler Hero. So does Bol Bol fall to 20?
Does Bobo? He could fall to 20.
I think
If
that's
this
as
happens,
far
and
as
wow,
he
Brandon
falls,
Clark goes
but-
to Boston. Oh,
Okay, Brandon Clark, Bol Bol.
yeah. And then maybe a Kyle Porter or Porter Jr. in their last pick if they
I'm
decide
gonna
to keep
say
all
it.
three.
I said it when you were gone. I'm gonna say it one more time. Bruno Fernando at 17. Great pick. But I say Romeo
Yeah.
Langford too.
I'm thinking that Cleveland gets a chance on Fernando if their late 20 pick.
Ooh, that would be fun to see too.
Yep, that's what I'm hoping for. So the pick is in for Miami.
Doesn't it here? Little, he falls to
Woj
15.
just reported. Maybe to Detroit. So Woj just reported that Oklahoma City is engaged in several conversations with teams to move back in the first round from 21. League sources tell ESPN. To move back from 21.
Golden State Warriors come up to take Kevin Porter Jr.
So according to ESPN, the best available is still Nasir Little, Brandon Clark, Bol Bol, Romeo Langford, and Nikolai Alexander Walker. Tyler Hero is not on that list.
Neither was Cam Johnson.
That's true. Yeah, I think that's probably the lowest grade of the draft so far. So here's Adam Silver from Miami. Pick number 13. Miami Heat will select. And they get Tyler Hero. Wow. So another Kentucky is gone again. Tyler
What do you think
Hero.
about it?
He's wearing some crazy suit.
What do you think about it?
I mean, I like the fact the fact that they need a shooting guard. I thought they were going to maybe go big guy here or some kind of bigger forward, just because they'd probably be the end of the Whiteside era at some point. But they need a shooting guard. This guy is a fantastic shooting guard. This guy's probably one of the best shooters in the draft, if not the best shooter in the draft. So adding him with Dragic, it could be lethal. It could be very lethal, especially sitting at pick 1-3. It's not bad. So I think that they probably reached a little bit, but they knew that they wanted this guy, and that's why they took him. They definitely didn't want to miss out on him. If they thought that they were going to miss out on him, or they weren't going to miss out on him, they probably would have traded back a little bit. But they wanted to make sure they grabbed the guy they wanted, and that's why they took a little bit of a reach. And we might see that this be a fantastic pick in the future for probably the best pure shooter in the draft in Tyler Hero.
They probably thought Boston was going to take him here. And so what I got to say about him real quick is I think he's got a really good fucking agent, because this man is rolling a $10,000 Rolex right now on his left wrist, rocking about 20 grand around his neck.
Well, I mean,
he's got a really good agent.
I had him going 16. I had him going 16 to Orlando, so it wasn't too far ahead of where I had him going.
Where you said he's 7 picks of where I had him.
Yeah, I had him going to Orlando. So now I can see
So here's my thing about
Now
him.
I
It's
can
like,
see Orlando maybe sneaking in and getting Alexander Walker. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
my thing about Hero is he reminds me of JJ Redick, and a lot of people are gonna go, well, JJ Redick's one of the best shooters in the NBA. How could you not like JJ Redick? JJ Redick
Wow.
was taking highlights.
You let me know when you're ready.
And he also did not produce on the all-star level ever. He's never been an all-star. He's been a good shooter. He's a good 4th or 5th or even 6th or 7th man on your team. He is not a primary ball handler. He is not a primary scorer on your team. So if you're telling me he's like JJ Redick, then I'm not impressed.
Yep. All right. I just got a Woj alert here. 2 of them, actually. Boston is focused on Indiana's Romeo Langford, not Brandon Clark, at 14.
Wow.
And Detroit is focused on Sekou Doumbia. So Detroit might be going with Doumbia, dropping all the way to 15. And Boston might go Langford. That moves Clark down to where?
To Washington
Wow,
when they
so
trade
Langford.
back in at 17. Or wait, no, trade back in at 16
Brandon
to
Clark.
Orlando.
Orlando the Beal, that'd be solid.
Come on, Washington.
That'd
make
be
it happen.
solid.
No, not even Bill. They just need to trade a couple picks for the 19. That ain't Bill
Yeah.
worthy. If you want Bill, you're
Yeah.
going to have to give me the rights to
Well,
Vucevic
Washington's
and
done with the
19.
draft as of right now. Washington does not have a 2nd-round pick, so they're done with the draft as of right now.
But if
So
they're
we'll see if
aggressive,
they have.
I just want to see him get aggressive. Brandon Clark and Rui Hachimura playing together one more time. Come on, make it happen. Why is he talking all
we got.
ghetto? He's white as hell.
He looks. He looks pretty chill though.
Do you hear him talking?
Yeah.
He talks like he grew up selling drugs. I know that sounds rude, but he really talk like I've known a lot of drug dealers who talk with their jaw really, really tight. He sounds like a fucking drug dealer to me. He doesn't sound like a professional player. He's not going to be good.
I'm
in
still
interviews.
shocked. I'm still shocked that Langford might be going next year.
Okay. John just said Nick Claxton is the guy that OKC likes if they stay there or trade back. I like Nick Claxton too. I thought Nick Claxton was good. I have highlights of all these players. I could prove to you I like Nick Claxton, but all my highlights are fucked because of fucking YouTube. No, that's not a vein popping in the side of my head. That's just life.
So Celtics won that trade last year that sent Philadelphia the first pick of the draft, and they got Jason Tatum, and Philadelphia got Fultz, and now they got this pick as well. Boston definitely won that trade right there, without a doubt.
Wasn't the
They
right
get
place
Tatum.
for Markelle to go anywhere. Markelle needed a small market. He's going to do way better in Orlando.
Yeah.
There was
Well,
too much attention on he needs to come in and produce now because this team was in a win now state, and they thought he was a win now player, and he's not. He's a good player, but he's not win now. Sorry. He's going to take a couple of years to develop, but he's going to be a really good point guard. Same with Lonzo Ball. Everybody's like, Lonzo Ball's a bust. You can't tell me if somebody's a bust until 10 years after they played. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Bennett, bust, because he's over in fucking back in Canada.
Oh, yeah. He's probably arguably the biggest bust of the NBA
Without
draft.
injuries, he's the biggest bust ever.
Oh, yeah, without injuries, yeah. Because if you
Barring
count,
injuries,
yeah,
he's the
to
biggest
me,
bust ever.
Yeah, you can't really consider injuries because you can't.
Well,
the guy just
people
couldn't
still
play.
Consider him though. People still say Sam
I know,
Bowie
I
is
know.
one of the biggest
I
busts.
know.
People still say Greg.
Nah,
Oden's
the only
one of
reason
biggest
Bowie-
busts.
The only reason Bowie was a biggest bust is because he was drafted before Jordan. Big deal. All right, yeah, Jordan's greatest for sure, but
And then Greg
then it
Oden
was
was
drafted
drafted.
first overall.
And Greg Oden was
Greg
drafted,
Oden was hurt.
and Greg Oden was drafted ahead of KD. So when it comes to
Yeah.
30 years down the road, they're going to say he was one of the bigger busts ever because he was drafted right above KD.
Anthony Bennett's biggest bust of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't count injuries in this aspect. And
No, I
then number
absolutely
2
agree
is
with
the guy. I forget his name. but it's the
Hasheem
guy that
Thabeet.
was drafted before Carmelo. The guy that was drafted before Carmelo by the Knicks.
Oh, Darko Milicic? No, not by the Knicks.
Yeah, that guy. He's number two.
Milicic was by
He's
the
not. That was Knicks,
Pistons.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, but he's number two
But
because he couldn't play either.
well,
He didn't have injuries. He just couldn't play.
The other one you forget is Sashim Thabit. There was no injuries there. They took a lot of upside on a guy who had a really big defensive. Yeah, he had a really big defensive upside, but he'd only been playing basketball for 2 years when he came into the league, and they expected him to produce on the level like he was going to be an all-star. This dude didn't even know how to shoot. He just knew how to block shots because he was so tall. Adam Silver back in. Tell me.
Yep, he's coming back up. 14th pick. The Celtics select. Oh, he's taking his time. Romeo Langford. Romeo Langford is a Boston Celtic.
I love it.
Pick
I love that
1-4.
pick. I love that pick, and I think they thought Detroit was going to take him at 15, so they took him now. I love it.
So that leaves Brandon Clark. I wonder if they take their 2 picks and bunch them together, move up, or do they take Bol with 20? What happens here? Do they just give up on Brandon Clark? That's a great question. What happens here moving forward?
How's Brandon Clark falling out of the
I really
lottery?
thought Brandon... Yeah, well...
Man. I do love the idea of Romeo Langford playing in Boston, though. I think that's a great pick. I think that's another idea that
he's going to be sharing time with Brown, right?
Well, that's what I'm about to tell you. Is I think Jaylen Brown may be on the way out of town because they already have quite a few guards over there. And Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, it's pretty well known those two don't play well together. So I love this pick by the Boston Celtics. I think Romeo Langford is one of the better players. They got hurt last year, so honestly, this kid could have been a top 10 pick had he not got hurt, in my opinion. I was watching him come out of high school too. Him, like I said, I was watching a couple kids. Detroit also has the 39 pick, has the 30 due to a trade. Okay. So my thing with Boston here with Romeo Langford is they're talking about he had a torn ligament in his right thumb, and he had more injuries that his agent didn't want to discuss, and they never told the guys at Indiana. They said when they did the reports on him that they all came back all healthy. His hand looks better than ever. That's scary to me that he just went to Boston. Romeo Langford is going to be one of those guys we look back in this draft who we're going to go, man, he fell that far. How did he fall that far? Have you ever seen those videos? How were so many people taken ahead of so-and-so? He's going to be one of those guys. How was this many people taken ahead of him? And then they're going to talk about, in my opinion, they're going to be like, well, Kobe White was taken at 7, and that's where we could start the debate of could he have been taken here? Because I think Kobe White's going to be one. As much as you love Tyler Hero, I think he's going to be one that they discuss. He could have went there. I think Romeo Langford's one of those kids that when he plays, he's not going to be do I say offensive all-star team, or do I say that I know he's going to be all-rookie team, all-rookie first team. I'm calling that now. Is he going to be an all-star? Possibly in 5-10 years. Bucks trade Tony Snell. Where is that?
They got they actually traded Tony Snell?
For John Lewis, what John is saying in our draft, but I'm not seeing that on the Woj
cite
reports.
a source.
I'm not seeing.
Someone cite a source there.
I was about to say, if you got a better source than us, because Woj ain't said nothing on that.
It ain't official unless Woj tweets it.
Yeah.
Tony Snell, huh? Well, that's a big contract Milwaukee was looking to give up, so
he said
that
Woj
happens.
said it, but I'm looking for it and I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it in the last hour that he said that. Unless you're talking about the fake Woj that he was discussing earlier.
Yeah, make sure it's at Woj ESPN, WOJ ESPN. That is the only one you should be looking at, is at Woj.
Because you were talking
ESPN.
about that one trade right before we started.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple of them out there, so yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah, there's only one guy I follow for that shit is Woj. I do like the rumors, but...
Yeah, I don't see it about Snell, so...
So who does Detroit go with here? Nazir Little looks perfect for that team, doesn't he? You just gave us.
Well, according to Woj, they're saying Doumbia. They're saying Seiko Doumbia goes here. First pick out of the lottery.
Like Seiko Doumbia. He's saying it was an hour ago there was a report about it. I'm looking for it now. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I'm not seeing it anywhere in here. Are you? I'm 3 hours in.
No, I'm not. I'm not. You said it was from Woj, so I don't. You might be looking at the wrong one there.
Like, I'm taking your word for it, but I'm looking through and I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing Cleveland discussing trading the pick and trying to get rid of J.R. Smith. They're still trying to get rid of J.R. Smith from what everybody's saying. But
if you follow us over on Twitter at Tough Talk Pod, screenshot your source and send it to us via Messenger in Twitter, and we'll let you know if that's the valid one. I'll check it out. I'm really curious on where you see that.
And if you ever get any rumors like that, send it to us at a Tough Talk Pod on Twitter.
Absolutely.
We will take all of those. We'll discuss them ourselves, and if we think they're valid, we will put them on our Tough Talk Pod Twitter, because we like to put all the information we can.
Especially from fans, no doubt.
Right. So if you got a source that we ain't got, let us know. But we're in a commercial break right now on it. It's kind of in that slow part where the lottery's going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop on some music. I'm going to let you just talk to the fans for a minute, and I'm going to step away for a minute real quick. Let me pop on.
All right. Well, pick is in for Detroit, so I'll go ahead and continue it while you do that.
No, I'll wait. Commercial. We said we're in a commercial here, so.
Oh, yeah, it's just coming back on here. It's just bringing it back on. So non-lottery first-round gems in the last 10 years. You had Drew Holiday. He went 17th overall in 2009 to the Sixers. You had Eric Bledsoe. He went 18th overall to the Thunder. Obviously, you got your finals MVP, Kawhi Leonard. He went 15th overall to the Indiana Pacers. Remember, he got traded, though. And then Jimmy Butler in the 2011, he was the number 30 pick. He didn't almost go in the first round. You had Rudy Gobert and Kyle Kuzma to the Nets, who was traded to the Lakers, and the Lakers liked that guy so much they wouldn't give him up to trade Anthony Davis. So a lot of them. And then obviously you got to think about the team who won the finals this year, and that's the Toronto Raptors. Not a single player was a lottery pick in that pick. The highest pick was Kawhi Leonard, being 15th overall. So let's see what Detroit does here as Adam Silver comes to the stage. And Detroit Pistons will pick with the 15th overall pick. And they get Sekou Doumbia. So there it is right there. Detroit getting Doumbia from France. Power forward. Derek, what do you think about that?
I'm not sure, man. I don't know about that pick. I've told you I don't know about Sekou Doumbia. I think he's a reach. We'll see. There's a lot of different ways people are pronouncing his name. In case you guys are wondering, Doumbia is the way I've heard that a lot of people are pronounced. That it's supposed to be pronounced. Duboya is another one I've read. So I don't know the proper way to say it. I'm sure if this kid becomes an Antetokounmpo, we'll figure it out, won't we?
That's true. So I just got this message from the tweet here, and it's from Bleacher Report NBA, so it's a verified tweet, and it wasn't an hour ago, it was 22 hours ago, so this happened last night. Bucks drew Tony Snell and the number 30th pick to the Pistons for John Lure.
Okay.
So John Lure is now on the Bucks.
Okay.
Tony Snell and the number 30 pick now belong to the Pistons.
I think Lure is kind of not the greatest player, but whatever. Wow, they just said Spicy P.
So thanks for letting us know on that tweet there. Appreciate that. We're going to retweet that for you. Fantastic. Didn't know that happened, but that's important. Important.
Not sure how that felt. Under the radar.
So Tony Snell, that's a lot of contract off the hands of the Milwaukee Bucks there. So that gives them opening to re-sign Chris Middleton, maybe Michael Brogdon. So that's good. That's fantastic for Milwaukee there. And they didn't need that 30th pick anyways. So that gives 2 first-round picks for Detroit. That's probably why they took a chance on Doumbia here. So not a bad spot.
Shit. Sorry. Shuma Okiki talked about going to 16 to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
I choked on that when I saw that.
Interesting. That's interesting.
I was like, cheering sweet talk, but that shit made me choke when I seen that.
Is that a Woj report?
That
sure
is a Woj report.
Wow. Well, if that happens, that's New Orleans still wide open with Nikolai, Alexander, Walker, which that's who I had mocked in my 2.0 draft.
Wow.
I had Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes, and Nikolai Alexander Walker. Obviously, I couldn't predict the trade, but if you can give me Hunter and Reddish and Walker, which probably won't happen because that's 3 guards, probably go towards a big guy here. Maybe a Goga. You might see a Goga
Maybe
coming
Brandon Clark,
from
who's still sitting on the board.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's not Atlanta's pick. I'm sorry. Atlanta traded this to New Orleans. This was Atlanta's original pick, and
That's right. So this is.
Oh, I forgot about that. So after the Magic's pick.
So who do you got going here?
We'll see what happens to New Orleans.
Well, I mean, the Magic. Magic.
We
have the reports that Chuma Okeke is going to them. So who do you have going to Brooklyn if they really do take Chuma?
Oh man. I hope it's Alexander Walker here. I think that a shooting guard. I know they have Hart, but I think a shooting guard would really be awesome.
Hart and Holiday.
That's true, but I think that you try to find a core to build around so you can move Holiday at some point and continue that core. He is your older guy, so that would be cool. Or you can go ahead and get another big guy to share the minutes with Zion Williamson and Jackson Hayes. So we'll see what happens.
That's what I was going to say. Is Brandon Clark wouldn't be bad here at 17 to the Pelicans? Because that would be like, how much better of a 6-man could you get to Brandon Clark to come in and give those 2 guys a little bit of time off the bench? If that's the case, I'm telling you, 9 blocks a game is easily attainable by the Pelicans.
Imagine that. Brandon Clark, Zion Williamson, Jackson Hayes. That's an athletic front court.
Jahlil Okafor.
And Jahlil Okafor. Wow, yeah.
That's very quality.
We'll see what happens.
I don't.
So here's the Magic's pick. It's on the board. And Adam Silver's coming out for the Orlando Magic, who finished the 7th seed in the East last year. We're in playoff teams now. Let's see what they can do to try and improve. Adam Silver's reporting now. The Orlando Magic will select with the 16th pick Chuma Okeke from Auburn. I don't know much about this guy as much as you do, so I'll let you tell me. Tell me about Okeke.
He is a team leader. He is a defensive. He's a very good defensive player. I was going to say defensive nightmare, but that's such a played-out term. He's a very good defensive player. His shot could use a little bit of work. His ball handling could use a little bit of work, but he's a great. And this is such a corny thing to say you need a team player on your team, but he's a great team player, and he could really be that piece to really put together this team. Because I'm telling you, when he went down, and this isn't, don't take this as a slide to Chuma Okeke. When he went down, that Auburn team tried to play better because they knew their best player was out, and they tried to play harder because they knew their favorite player was out. And they're talking about right now, his ACL went out. He could have been a lottery pick had he not been hurt. I don't know what their personal opinion of him is for a comparison, but if I was to say one of mine right off the bat coming into the league, I like him as a Draymond Green type.
Interesting.
Who could improve the defense who could slightly improve the defense. I say that type because like how his offense is, but I like he could improve the defense a little bit, but I really do like a Chuma Okeke here.
Is this a guy that sits in your starting lineup for Orlando?
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to sit right alongside Jonathan Isaac, Aaron Gordon. It's going to be a great. You're going to love that together. And I think honestly, Jonathan Isaac is so tall. They need to quit putting him as small forward. He's dang near 7 feet. I don't know why he's playing small forward in the NBA, but I'm excited to see Okeke go 16 simply for the fact he deserved this more before he got hurt. And I'm a guy who, if somebody gets hurt, I really don't like seeing that. I've heard a couple people actually here recently. There was somebody who got injured, and they cheered him. KD, the KD Raptors thing. I have a huge issue
It's
with
KD.
Raptors fans.
Yeah, KD.
And
Absolutely.
There was Raptors fans on Twitter even saying, "Oh, glad he went down." Blah blah blah. That's bad. You can't be a fan of a team.
Yeah, even
anything if you're cheering for somebody. To get
hurt. Even the players on the court were like asking like what the hell they were doing.
They were asking them to stop. Oh my God! The Jackson Hayes across the bottom of the draft order again to New Orleans just is such a great move. I love that pick.
Yeah. And now we got New Orleans up again. So Jackson Hayes, Zion Williamson, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Hart, Okafor, and what's the next selection here? This guy could be anywhere from a 5th starter, your number 5 starter, all the way to maybe a number 7 guy off the bench, your second guy off the bench. Who is it? So if you got to pick it, who do you go with here for
me, I'm going best player
New
available.
Orleans Pelicans?
For me, I'm going best player available. I'm going Brandon Clark. I want to see Brandon Clark come off the bench. But that's just me. I could see them going Nazir Little here. But then you were talking to Brandon Ingram's time. I really want to see Brandon Clark go to New Orleans. Call me crazy, but it'd be fun
cool
to see Brandon Clark, Jahlil Okafor coming off the bench for Zion and Jackson Hayes. Because Jackson Hayes, the one thing I had for a big mark on Jackson Hayes at the next level is I feel like he could get into foul trouble. So if we put that big man by committee behind him, Brandon Clark and Jackson Hayes and Jahlil Okafor behind him could be a lot of fun to watch. So that personally for me would be exciting to see. Hero and Langford are both off the board.
Yep.
Keldon Johnson's off the board. Or not Keldon. Yeah, Keldon Johnson is off the board already. Cameron Johnson's off the board. It's like, who do you take here? Or P.J. Washington, not Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson's still on the board, isn't he? Yeah.
Keldon is, not Cam.
I meant Cam and P.J., but yeah. Oh, man. Solomon Hill to the Hawks. I can't believe the Pelicans were able to get rid of all that money. This man is playing 2K out there right now as GM.
Yeah. David Griffin already is in the lead for Executive of the Year.
Yeah, just for this. He's doing some stuff like we're watching that movie. What was that movie about the Cleveland Cavaliers in the draft? What was that called? Draft Day or something silly like that?
Oh, the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns, not the Cavaliers.
Or yeah,
all right, so the pick is in. Pick is in for number 17 for the New Orleans Pelicans. There is a Woj report for the next pick, number 18. We'll report that right after we see number 17 come out.
Wow.
And we'll see what happens here with technically the Brooklyn Nets on the clock, but this pick is the draft rights to the New Orleans Pelicans. So we'll see who joins the New Orleans Pelicans here.
Of Jackson Hayes and Zion. Let's see who the third guy to go take pictures with him is going to be.
And that's right, here comes Adam Silver right now. And we got the number 17 pick.
I forgot about Kevin Porter Jr. too.
Here we go. 17th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft. Pelicans select Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Virginia Tech. I'm so happy right now.
Whoa.
New Orleans is becoming my team, man.
Are they listening to us?
Oh, my God. My mock draft for New Orleans has been pretty solid.
Are they listening to us right now?
Oh, man.
Yo,
I'm loving it.
If you're listening to us, trade back in and try to get Brandon Clark real quick too, please.
Oh man!
Since you've been listening to us and listening to us say you guys need Jackson Hayes, you've been listening to us telling he said Nickeil Alexander-Walker a few times.
Wow.
I agree with that pick. I think it's a great move. The only downside, like I said, I think Josh Hart now gets lost in depth here. Unless they trade through Holiday.
That's possible. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker can be a 3, though. he can be a 3. The dude's 6'9", so
He's also
he can
cousins
be.
with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who was picked last
Yeah.
year by the Clippers. If
Yeah.
you guys don't know who he is, he's leading that team as a point guard right now. Really great pick by the Clippers. Clippers look smart for doing that draft last year. Nikhil Alexander Walker. I'm gonna let you talk a little bit on him. I love this pick.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna
I
look at
got to
Woj
watch him a
real quick.
lot. I'm a Hokie. I'm a big Virginia Tech fan myself, so I really enjoy watching him play last season. He was entertaining as all hell. But yeah, definitely looking forward to watching him play a lot more. We'll see what happens in the future here. But yeah, I like Nikolai Alexander Walker. Very big. Led the team Virginia Tech in points, field goals made, assists, and steals. This guy was an all-around player for an ACC team in Virginia Tech, so they had to battle out a lot of important games. They weren't the best team last year, but they weren't the worst either. And this guy definitely had a great impact on this Virginia Tech basketball team. Looking forward to seeing him join New Orleans Pelicans on this elite young core. Now, I'm gonna go out and say elite young core, even though we haven't even seen 3 of these guys play.
Going with
Yeah,
my 6th seed
absolutely.
now.
I could see them moving to a 6 seed easily. If anybody thinks that this team is not going to be a playoff team next year, no way.
Okay, real quick.
11 seed last year.
What we were talking about, Indiana is focused on Goga Patadze. Reason
That's
being
right.
they
That
don't
was the
wanna-
Woj report.
Yep. They don't want to see him go to San Antonio because
Mhm.
San Antonio loves their foreign big men.
Yep.
Right
Well, I think
now,
that'd be fantastic for Indiana too, though. They're a
Shea
playoff
is sitting
team.
right now
They would have
next-
been a lot better. Indiana would have been a lot better last season if Oladipo didn't go down. So adding Goga would be a fantastic addition for this squad.
That was the most corny interview I could have ever listened to. I was listening to Kill Alexander's interview, and Shea Gilgeous was there too. And Shea
All right,
Gilgeous
Pacers are
said
already
that-
coming up.
He said the most PR media thing they could have ever said. He's like, I'm really happy. I knew it was going to happen, and we was going to make it to the league, and we're here. I'm like, that's the most PR shit you could have said.
Nice. So Silver just came up, reported Indiana's pick. Goga Bitadze, the center from Georgia,
Yep.
and not Georgia University.
Are we
So
surprised?
that's no. I had Hashimura going here. Obviously, he went a lot sooner. The reason I had Hashimura going here is just because I knew that I liked the way that he fit because he was an older player, and I just thought that would fit for Indiana. And I liked a lot of players beforehand. You know, just off recent intel, you didn't know what Washington was going to do because they didn't really work out any. They didn't work out any of the lottery picks really. So that was definitely an interesting pick. So, but yeah,
Oh,
Goga,
listen.
absolutely like this pick.
Okay, so here's how
It's gonna
my
be good.
question. How's he fitting in with Miles Turner?
Yeah, well, I think that he is going to be able to share minutes, or they might be able to work both of them together.
Do you think they're going to try
Maybe
to
run 2
play
big
one of
guys
them
down
at-
low.
I was about to say, do you think they're trying to go play one of these two at power forward?
I think you could. This guy's 6'11", so I mean,
So is Miles Turner. My other
Yes,
thing about, so I've watched a lot of his stuff. He looks like he's more of a traditional big man.
Mhm.
And then they're saying the exact opposite thing of me because I think his shot from beyond the arc wasn't the greatest. I think he had a decent mid-range game, but maybe he's improving some on his outside shot.
All right.
But to me, I wasn't impressed.
well, hey, look, now we got the San Antonio Spurs up at 19, and Brandon Clark still hasn't gone. So if
Am I
Brandon
still
Clark
right?
moves to
Nazir
number
Little
20,
hasn't gone either.
yeah, and Nazir Little going to San Antonio would be pretty impressive too. So
Yeah.
San Antonio is sitting
I
really
think
pretty
we
right
talked
now
about-
at 19.
I think I had Nazir
We
Little
did.
there because
Rock
I talked
one.
about
I
how
did,
he
yeah.
would go to how
I
he
did
would go
with
from
Rock one.
Roy to Popovich, and it'd be a great little
Yep.
Yeah, I remember
Yep.
that.
So-
now. So you might be right on the money here. Nazir Little, 19 would be perfect for the San Antonio Spurs. Brandon
And if
Clark
that's the
also,
case-
though. Man.
If that's the case, Boston gets a chance at Brandon Clark again at 20, and
Ugh.
still could possibly throw in Bull with their 3rd pick and make it happen. I'm just saying, that's pretty crazy. if that happens.
I swear Boston looks good in this draft. That's why I said if they keep all 3 draft picks, it's going to be interesting. But I honestly didn't think they were going to, so this is kind of crazy to me.
All right, so out of the 2 right now between Atlanta, who got Reddish and got Hunter, and then the Pelicans, who got Zion and got Hayes and got Nikolai Walker, who wins the draft so far? You know my pick already. I like the Hawks. I really like what they did, but the Pelicans are crushing it this draft. I think
do we take into consideration the trade that got them the number 4 overall pick? Because if we do, they've won it by a landslide because they got 3 starters. They got 5 starting potential, or hell, we could say 6 starting potential players.
Yeah. Well, and they traded. Yeah, and they got rid of Cap, and they got a first-round pick for next year.
So I mean,
it's protected, but still
it's heavily
protected from Cleveland. Yeah, but either way, that's an extra pick, and probably not a lottery pick, but it's still a pick. And that means if it's protected next year, which probably it's Cleveland, the lottery pick next year. So that means they probably won't have an extra draft pick in 2020, but they'll have an unprotected in 21. That's how that works. If you don't get a protected pick that year, you get unprotected the following year. So that means that they probably just got another unprotected draft pick from the Cleveland Cavaliers 2 years from now, who might possibly be a playoff team by then. Who knows? Depends on what happens with the draft next year, because they're definitely not going to do it this year. And then you have this core who will be 2 years into this already, and then maybe picking up another lottery pick and whatever happens. David Griffin, and don't forget all the picks they just have with the Lakers.
Right.
Wow, David Griffin's doing something here. He's got some trade bait that he can trade 2 or 3 of these picks to move up back into the lottery.
I want to just throw all these names out here for you because it's obvious the Pelicans win, in my opinion, if I say it like this to you, okay?
Yep.
They have Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart,
Yep.
Brandon Ingram,
Yep.
Zion Williamson.
Yep.
Who was the other one they grabbed? Jackson Hayes.
Yep. How can you forget
Alexander Walker. Okay. And then on that team already they had ready for you, they had Drew Holiday and they had Jahlil Okafor.
Yeah.
What do you need off of that team? That's 8 players right there that I feel like are going to be great, like good players for this team next year.
And which one of those players has a lot of cap?
Drew Holiday.
Other than that, though, so what's that mean that they can do it still in free agency if they wanted to?
I think they should move Drew Holiday and then do something big in free agency. Honestly.
Yeah.
They could make a really big.
I like what David Griffin's doing.
Solomon Hill.
Really like what
the Solomon Hill trade. I felt like that was something out of a video game. This dude just 2K'd the shit out of the Hawks by giving them Solomon Hill. That's the best way I can refer to that trade, is they 2K'd the shit out of the Hawks, because who the hell is taking on Solomon Hill's contract?
All right, so projected Pelicans lineup next season. Just got this from a tweet from at Johnny NASCAR, so thanks. I'm pretty sure that's John listening to us today. Projected Pelicans lineup next season: point guard Lonzo Ball, shooting guard Drew Holiday, small forward Brandon Ingram, power forward Zion Williamson, center Jackson Hayes. And you got the 6th guy at Josh Hart, 7th at Jahlil Okafor, and 8th by Alexander Walker. You hit right on the dot, Derek. That's fantastic. All right, Silver's coming up for the 19th pick of the Spurs. Let's see what he says.
Shout out for that, by the way, John, because we were both on the same thing on that. They just showed how Zion and LeBron had the same suit on draft night.
Wow, here we go. The Spurs have drafted Luka Samanic from Croatia.
By the way, didn't I say something about the Spurs love their foreign big men when we talked about this? I had them I had them taking him later, remember? And you told me that you thought he was in the 2nd round. I was like, I don't know, man. Them Spurs love their foreign big men. So I think this one right here, I think I called this one. I mean, it's a little earlier than what I called it, but I called this one. But yeah, shout out to John tweeting the starting lineup at us. You couldn't hit that more on the head. I love that trade. I think that the Pelicans have turned into one of the fun new teams to watch. And it's totally not rigged or anything by the NBA. But
nope.
He said nope. Not even getting back into that. Nope.
All right, and if you want to even if you want to say the Zion one is, the Anthony Davis trade can't be rigged because that's all GM. The trade with the Hawks can't be rigged because that's GM.
Let me stop you real quick because Charlotte
Here we
Hornets,
go.
New Orleans Hornets fans will remember, and Lakers fans will remember that the GM or the Adam Silver can do whatever he wants. Because remember
The
when
Chris Paul trade?
David Stern.
Okay, yeah. All right, so Boston Celtics are up with pick number 20. Brandon Clark, still not there. Nasir Little, still not taken. Bol, still not taken. Wow. So let's see what happens here. We have Boston, then we have OKC, and then we have Boston again. Can we see Brandon Clark and Bol both going to Boston here? I think we can.
Oh yeah.
I could see Nasir Little going to OKC.
19, man. What did the Spurs see in him that we didn't see?
I don't know.
I had him going a little bit later in the first round. I seen him as a good player, but I didn't see him as 19.
I had him just falling out. I had him as my best player out of the draft.
Right, we discussed that, and I told you I thought you were slightly wrong on that, but I didn't think.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going 19, so I guess
Not
we
by
were
much.
both wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that I thought you were a little off because I thought he was for sure a first round pick. I didn't think he was going 19. They're talking about Bol now, probably trying to get him some publication. Going, please, please, please draft him.
Boston is selecting Matisse Thybulle at 20
Whoa.
and possibly trading him to the Sixers.
See, I thought, okay, so when I said it, I said he was going to the Sixers. Remember that?
Possibly trading him to the Sixers. Wonder what that means. Wonder what the Sixers are going to give up for him.
That pick and cash.
Sixers don't have a pick.
They don't have that second?
Maybe a second, but they're just going to get a second in cash? No way. Deal is agreed on, and Sixers will send Boston number 24 and 33 in this draft. Oh, Sixers do have. I didn't know the Sixers had 24. How'd they get 24?
I thought they had 24, but hey.
So Sixers will send 24 and 33 in the draft.
That's a lot.
And the Sixers will get Matisse Thybulle. Yeah. That's only 4 picks down. So instead of being 20 and 22, they're 22 and 24.
Mm-mm. Too much.
That's a good trade, but that's a good trade for Boston.
Yeah.
So, because they still have 2 guys left on the board that they want, and
Well,
that guy was not probably the one they wanted, and they just
Clark
got.
is still there. If he goes to Oklahoma City, I might cry on the inside.
So if he goes to Oklahoma City, that still opens up them next at 22 to open Bol or Nasir Little. So all they did is move down 4 spots, gave up a pick a player that they didn't even intend to get to go into Philadelphia,
This is what
and
Danny Ainge does.
and gaining number 33, which is basically another first-round pick. This is brilliant by Boston.
This is what Danny Ainge does. He did it a couple of years ago with the number 1 pick, and he traded down to number 3. This is what Danny Ainge does.
They already got Romeo Langford. Yeah, they already got
this
Romeo
is what
Langford.
Danny Ainge does. Are we surprised? He's a genius GM. Top 5 GM in the league, I'll say it right now. Maybe even top 3.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Griffin down there in New Orleans is quickly moving up there.
Quickly moving up the ranks. Yeah, he was great in Cleveland, so I
moving
mean, you
up
got to
there.
remember him. So, yeah, he was. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Who would you say the number 1 GM is right now in the league if you had to put one around it? Serrano did pretty good.
Overall, Danny Ainge, I think.
Yeah, you think he took it?
Okay,
That guy in Toronto did pretty well.
My reason for Danny Ainge is who can predict Gordon Hayward's going to go down with like he did after signing the max contract with.
Yeah.
Look at what Boston did.
That was awful.
Look at what Boston did when they signed that, because they signed Kyrie and they signed Gordon Hayward, and this team's looking like fucking, And then all of a sudden they sign Kyrie, they sign Hayward, they get Tatum, they get Brown, everything's looking really good, and then who can predict your $30 million is going to tear ACL?
Yep.
76ers
All right, here
have
comes Adam
4
Silver.
second-round picks.
Adam Silver coming out for pick number 20, who is officially going to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Who's the
But it says the Celtics select Matisse Thybulle. But what was just reported, Sixers will take Matisse Thybulle in a draft or in a trade. And Boston will get 4 picks from now, number 24, and 33 in the draft. So, wow. Matisse Thybulle going to be a 76er. Small forward out of Washington. Does this help fill the void of Jimmy Butler leaving Philadelphia? How do you feel about this, Derek?
Man, all right, so I really like Matisse Thybulle
Okay.
at 24, where I had him going to the Sixers. I don't like it. I think you moved up. You reached.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could have got him 4 picks later. I don't think Oklahoma City was taking him. How's he gonna help them? He gonna be another Roberson?
We got to pause what you're saying right here. We got another Woj report. The next pick, Oklahoma City has traded number 21 to Memphis. League sources tell ESPN Memphis is targeting Gonzaga's Brandon Clark.
Ooh.
So are we going to get Ja Morant and Brandon Clark together?
Ja Morant.
And Brandon Clark?
Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson,
So let's
and
see what they
Brandon
got.
Clark.
Let's see what they gave up. I'm sure they didn't give up any of those 3 players, but that might help Memphis out a little better than we thought. Maybe
remember
not a bottom feeder team.
A couple of days ago, I sent you a message telling you I really liked Jaren Jackson Jr. at the center position, not at the power forward. I think Brandon Clark going to Memphis would fit in perfectly right next to Jaren Jackson Jr. and make that a really good defensive front court. Man, 2 small market teams are looking really great right now.
I'm assuming that Memphis is going to be giving up that 23 pick that they just got from Utah for the Connolly trade to Oklahoma City. Reports haven't came out yet, but I'm sure that's involved. Here, actually, just reported right now, Oklahoma City will get the 23 pick and a 2024 second-round pick. So this is a great move for Memphis, having to move up only 2 spots, giving up a second-round pick, and grabbing Brandon Clark to work with Jackson and Morant. So fantastic job by Memphis.
Why did they just show a 10-minute video for Matisse Thybulle, who's the 20th overall pick? Hashtag rigged. Hashtag should have been a 24th overall pick. Now he's crying.
Fantastic. So, Oklahoma City.
Now he's crying.
Oklahoma City giving up 21 pick, moving down 2 spots, only gaining basically a second-round pick out of it to move down 2 spots.
Where's Kevin Porter Jr. in all this?
Maybe that's what Oklahoma City's waiting on. Maybe. They move down to get an extra second round later on.
So Boston take him. Boston going to take him. They're going to be like, shit, should have moved
I think Boston, that's why Memphis just snuck up here to take Brandon Clark. I think Bol Bol goes to Boston, 22.
Honestly, I'm glad Bol Bol's fallen this far back, but...
So Brandon Clark will go to Memphis. How about that? That's fantastic for both of these small market teams, for New Orleans and Memphis.
I mean, we can still say
now they're involved,
but now they're closer to the Hawks.
Yeah, I think Boston's falling out and Memphis is coming in.
Yeah. Wow. Good job, Memphis. And Brandon Clark's one of those kids where I think we're on the same page as the Memphis Grizzlies right now going, how the hell is he fallen to 21?
Yeah.
Hurry up and get up there and get him before he falls any further because we can't let that happen.
Nope.
Wow. Thybulle is good, man, but still. I thought he was 24 through 30. They're like, he's an elite defender. He played in a zone defense.
So who's going to fall that we've had in first round? Who's going to fall?
Man.
Who's going to be in the second round we had in the first? How come Taco Fall hasn't gone yet?
I mean, I still had Lucas Samanic going in the first round, so my board is still not, nobody's fallen. My board is all fucked up, but nobody's fell out of the first round yet. I still say, I know you keep laughing about it, but if Taco Fall goes to Golden State, you're going to be freaking mad like everybody else is.
Now I'm just hoping he goes to Washington or something. They come back into the first or second round and go pick him up, work him with Hashimura.
Oh God! Anybody who takes him is going to have to understand that he's
raw,
not the best pick.
Completely raw.
Defensive presence, though.
You're Brandon Clark. How mad are you right now, knowing that you're at 21?
I'm not, because I just landed
Are
with
you
Jaren
mad?
Jackson. No, I'm not. I'm just landed with Jaren Jackson and John Morant.
Do you play with a chip on your shoulder, knowing that 20 other teams passed you up? Well, not
absolutely
really
you do.
20, but
No,
yeah.
20 other teams dropped on you, didn't take you. This is how you look at that.
Well, I guess you could
don't-
say technically. Yeah, you don't have to say double picks. Yeah, 20 other picks. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you just say 20 other teams, just like Draymond Green did when he said his. And that
I think the
kid
biggest
right there-
surprise is not Brandon Clark, though. It's Nasir Little. Nasir Little is still on the board.
I think Brandon Clark playing with a chip on his shoulder is something you want in Memphis.
Yeah. These teams are going to be fun to watch this season.
Oh, yeah.
Why can't can NBA start next week? Can we just get that going again? What's going on?
When is summer
I mean, we
league
got the
start again?
WNBA. We got July 1st or July 5th.
That ain't soon enough.
We got that. We got the WNBA, which is actually kind of interesting so far this year. It has been actually quite entertaining.
Yeah, I
We have
got
basketball all year round.
real quick. I gotta say, Los Pollos TV kind of kissed my ass with that comment that you put on Twitter. Women's basketball is entertaining. For you to say something like that and belittle professional athletes while you sit at home and eat KFC and play 2K, you can go fuck yourself.
There you go. Yeah, I love WNBA.
Anything else you
I
want to
love
say
it.
to
I know
me,
this is
you
good
can
enough credit.
anytime you ever want to see me, Los Pollos, pull up. Because I'll pull up. Pull up, you
Nice.
fat bastard.
I love WNBA. I think it's fantastic.
I used to enjoy, Los Pollos used to be one of those guys I actually used to enjoy watching on YouTube. He was actually kind of comedic and funny. And then when he put that tweet out about professional athletes, when you sit at home and bitch at people on your screen because you're bad at games, don't fucking talk to me ever again. You're a piece of shit. I used to subscribe to him on Twitch, which if you don't know, that's $5 a month. I don't subscribe to that dude no more. I ain't going to contribute money to him no more. You just put down professional athletes who work their fucking ass off day in and day out since childhood to become professional athletes to get to the WNBA because they can't get to the NBA, and that is their highest fucking ceiling, and you downgrade
Yep.
them and say you'd rather be in a fire than go watch the finals paid for? Fuck you.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got Silver coming out. Sorry to end your rant.
No, it's a perfect time to end it right there.
So Brandon Clark has been selected by officially OKC, but this pick will be going to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Good.
Brandon Clark will be joining John Morant on the Memphis Grizzlies with 21st overall. Kid from Vancouver, British Columbia, who grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. Guy from Gonzaga, who came over after being from San Jose State, moved over to Gonzaga. Fantastic player. Going to be looking forward to playing with him and John Morant.
And I love the idea that he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder now that he had to wait till we move out of the lottery down to 21 to be picked.
Absolutely. This guy he's going to win somewhere as we fought at 14 with Boston, and he gets passed up not once but twice by Boston because they traded out. And yeah, so we'll see what happens there, how he works with the Memphis Grizzlies. But yeah, I like this pick for Memphis. I think they definitely are
Absolutely.
helping their rebuild. A lot of teams are helping their rebuild really quick this year. I think one of the teams I want to see a little more of is Cleveland. So I'm excited to see what Cleveland does with their second pick in the first round. Hopefully they go after a big guy. There's a lot of them left. And we can see what happens there.
I'm excited
But
to see
next
Brandon
up, we
Clark
got Boston.
play with Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see those
We
two
got-
play together. That'll be a good defensive front court.
So Boston is up once again, and Boston has already picked Romeo Langford.
Mhm.
They picked Matisse Thybulle, but they've traded that rights over to the 76ers, and that's why they're picking again right now.
Bobo. Or Nazir Little. But I don't think you take Nas because you have Jalen. So I say Bobo.
So they
No
take
Wills
Bull
reports,
here.
no nothing. Bobo.
Nothing yet. Boston still has two more picks.
Yeah,
It
Bobo.
goes Boston. It'll
What
go
if
Boston
Nazir
and then
Little
OKC.
falls out of the
Boston.
first round pick or first round call?
No
together?
way. There's no way. No
What
way.
if? You say no way, but this man's already fell this far.
If you're the Cleveland Cavaliers and Nasir Little sitting at you, you do exactly why you drafted Darius Garland. You get the best player available and you pick him up.
Oh yeah, that.
So there's no way.
They
Yeah,
just
there's
compared
no way
Brandon
that he-
Clark to Sean Marion. Sean Marion is a Hall of Fame player, so I love that comparison. but I
Yeah.
think he's slightly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't say that because Sean Marion was a defensive nightmare in his first 5 years in the league, 7 years in the league. So
He was
accurate.
fantastic in Phoenix.
Yeah, I was about to say
Fantastic
accurate.
in Phoenix.
I hope he plays with a chip on his shoulder in Memphis, because if he does, he puts Memphis in the playoff picture. If John Morant's who
Now,
we
West
think
is
he
gonna
is,
be-
the point guard,
Very exciting. West is going to be very exciting this season.
especially if Chris Paul gets traded.
Yeah. Because he's going somewhere. It's not going to be hard.
Minnesota.
Never know.
Minnesota, they just draft Jarrett Culver. You're trying to get Andrew Wiggins out of town. You trade Andrew Wiggins for Chris Paul? You got to trade a little bit more because of the money, but
Yeah,
No, 'cause
you'd have
you just got rid of money with the Saric, too. Saric
Chris
had
Paul-
$7 million on the books, I
You
believe.
probably have to. Houston would probably have to give more up. They'd probably have to give up maybe a first rounder or at least a second rounder for taking that contract.
Well, I was thinking financially, though, would Minnesota have to take on more? And I don't think so because of the
No.
Sarge trade earlier. But I
If
could
that
see Chris
happened-
Paul work really good with Jarrett Culver and Karl Anthony Towns. I could see that being a fun team to watch. You thought Lob City was in Los Angeles. You ain't seen nothing until you see him get a hold of Karl Anthony Towns.
Well, now that Mike Conley is on Utah Jazz, where do you see your former guard Ricky Rubio? Where do you see him going? Because he probably had his best season last year in the Utah organization.
You know, that is...
So where do you see?
That is a great question, actually. And you're not going to like my answer because nobody's going to like my answer. But I could see him going over to the Lakers to try to help that team and be on a mid-level contract because he's already made money off everybody else. And to go play with AD and LeBron. And
he'd be great there if he
he'd
played
be
anything like he
excellent.
did last year.
Yeah, he'd be
If
excellent
he
there.
played anything like last year.
He's improved
So we got a
his
minute and
three-point
39
shooting.
seconds
So I
left
have
on the
2 minutes
Celtics
and
pick
15
at 21.
seconds.
Okay, yeah, you're definitely a little behind.
A little shit.
All right, Wojo tweet. Boston is focused on Tennessee's Grant Williams at 22.
Who you
Wow.
like? Bol falling out the
I
first
did-
round.
I liked Grant Williams, but I liked Grant Williams as one of those picks that could be, I think I saw him going to Portland a couple picks below. So I could, okay, yeah,
With how this is
but
going,
interesting.
the guy who falls out of my first round guaranteed right now, I can't even say guaranteed because I don't know what the hell's going on tonight.
Acapulco?
Darius Bazley.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Spurs have one more pick. Spurs still have one more pick, and I can see the Spurs taking that chance.
I can see the Warriors taking it too, though.
That's true. That's
'Cause
true.
What if you miss out on KD,
And-
then you got to
And
replace
the Pistons now have the 30th pick now. Remember?
that. Oh shit! Yeah.
Pistons could-
Wow. So okay,
Yeah,
Bazley's
so-
still going in the first round probably.
So remember that. All right.
And you're probably gonna
But
get big
Grant
falling
Williams
out.
from Tennessee.
Bruno Fernando falling out.
I don't know. We gotta see what happens. How far Nasir Little goes.
Cabaniello
I think
falling out.
I could see that one. So when we're talking about Grant Williams here from Tennessee, he's not even my favorite Tennessee guy coming out. I was a really big fan of Admiral Schofield. I thought he was fantastic. I like Grant Williams. I think he probably is a better pro-ready player. But 22, that's a little high for me. But some of these picks are a little higher than we thought. Hero went a couple picks higher, and Grant Williams went a couple picks higher too. Yeah, and that one too. That was really high. So we'll see what happens here.
I think
Boston looks like the pick is in.
I had San Antonio taking Somonik with the second first round pick they had. So I still don't understand that pick to me.
Yeah.
All right, who's the pick?
Interesting. Well, it just says pick is in. They haven't showed Silver yet. They're still showing R.J. Barrett hugging Spike Lee and stuff.
No.
Just like showing the pass.
Spike Lee.
He's a super fan.
What if he's the reason they never win?
Possibly. But
Well,
all
not
right,
to-
here we go.
not to
They're
be
showing the
grim,
stage.
But what if Spike Lee dies and then they win a championship the next year?
That'd be insane. All right, so showing the stage now. They keep showing Bull for some reason, but
Right.
Silver's talking. And the Celtics have selected with
Utah
22
ain't taking Bol.
Grant Williams. Grant Williams from University of Tennessee. So
Oh wait,
that's
this
a
ain't
pick.
Utah's pick. This is Memphis, ain't it?
No, that was Boston.
Yeah, but the Utah pick, it says right here. This is actually going to
OKC.
be OKC.
OKC. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because of my bad, because they traded it with.
Yeah, so many trades. So
Yeah, I was
this
about
one
to
was
say,
traded
it's hard
to. Yeah, this one was traded for the Mike Conley trade, and then Memphis just moved up to get Brandon Clark. So OKC has the next
kinda
pick.
Ugly as shit.
So OKC, is this your USC guy? Is this who it's going to be, or what happens? So Grant Williams, though, power forward. So they get Romeo Langford, they get Grant Williams. They still have one more pick left, and it's right after this OKC
I'll be honest,
pick.
I don't like this pick.
I don't see OKC getting Bol, so maybe they take that risk with that third pick and get Bol for Boston there. But I'm not a big fan of this pick either. This is probably my second pick my second least favorite pick in the entire draft so far.
We've had a lot of picks that I don't like so far. I didn't like the Suns pick. I didn't like the Spurs pick. I don't like this pick. I felt like, man, there's been some reaches in my opinion. Jay Bilas, coached team in AAU. Who cares?
Yep.
Daniel Jones was on that team too, so that doesn't tell me much about what that team's going to do. What do you think about him? Completely different sport real quick. We'll talk about it. What do you think about Daniel Jones with the Giants?
Oh.
Yeah, I completely threw you off there, didn't I? We're talking about NBA. I said, hey, NFL.
No, that's no problem. I can talk NFL any day. I think that when you look at it in a draft standpoint, that if that's the guy they wanted to get, they reached so bad, and it's probably has the potential of being some of like the worst, maybe a possible bust, and obviously not like Ryan Leaf or Jamarcus Russell style because it's only 6. But when you still have Haskins on the board, I'm high on Haskins. I'm high on Haskins, man.
What if they couldn't?
I know he's in Washington, and Washington doesn't do. That's true. That's true.
That's who they wanted.
That draft definitely. Hey, look, we're talking about it right now, and we're saying that this was, we've been talking about it for months now since the draft has happened. How crazy it was that Daniel Jones. Yeah, and Eli Manning is probably going to start the season off. It would be stupid for him not to. Once they get in a situation where, they're out of it and they decide to be sellers, you got to give the rookie a chance to see what you got. And that's when you're really going to be able to determine what's going on. And even maybe next season won't even give you that. You just get some fundamentals out of it and you move forward. I feel like in a rookie quarterback, if you draft a rookie quarterback in the first round, you got to give him you got to have at least 2 years of actual play to determine what you want to do. And if it doesn't work out, then you're behind another 2-3 years. So drafting a rookie quarterback and not taking it from free agency is the biggest risk that any NFL team can do. Because if it doesn't work, and I'm a Bills fan, so I'll tell you 100% how it works because we've had issues for a long time. Hopefully this new guy we have, Josh Allen, helps it out, which he did pretty well last year. But we've had issues since we lost, since the whole Doug Flutie, Rob Johnson debate, debacle back in the early 2000s, and we really haven't had a solid quarterback since Jim Kelly, if you want to talk maybe a year or two with Drew Bledsoe, but it was at the end of his career. But anyways, when you talk about a quarterback, if you miss out on them and they don't pan out, you could be hurting for 5 years until you give them the 2-3 years to see if they produce. You have to give them that solid chance, and then you have to decide to let that go, and then you draft another one, and then you have the same opportunity. And it's just a never-ending cycle until you find the right one. And then if you don't play well, your market sucks as well, so it's hard to get free agencies. So it's definitely an ending cycle. New York is putting themselves at a big risk, and definitely in one of those markets that you don't want to be in risky situation with it because the media is going to eat them alive. It's happened with the Jets multiple times. Now the Giants are going to feel it.
My favorite what the fuck pick by the Buffalo Bills? Take a stab in the
What's
dark.
that?
Who's your worst? Who's the one player in the last 10 years you wish they never drafted in the
In the
first
first
round?
Ugh. I mean, when I look back at it now, the first one that it's more than 10 years ago, but Mike Williams, that's the biggest one that pisses me off. The mansion, the guy was supposed to be amazing.
I was thinking EJ.
EJ Manuel.
Yep.
Well, EJ Manuel, he was drafted too soon, that's for sure.
John said Maben,
but
I was thinking EJ Manuel.
Yeah, but Maben, I don't think Maben was a second round pick. I think though. I think he was like an early second round. I don't think he was a first round pick.
I thought he was a mid.
But Maben definitely.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe he was our second first round pick.
Yeah,
he was definitely not our first selection.
I think EJ Manuel was a reach, and they shouldn't have went with that guy.
Easily, he was
I love
easily
Florida
a
State,
reach.
but he didn't have an arm.
That was an awful quarterback class. We really didn't have a choice. To be
Marcel
completely honest,
Darius was a really good pick, but
we didn't pick him though.
or no, that's right. That's
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. No, yeah, we did.
Why do you make me think of? Damn, you've done that to me twice now. Marcel
Honestly,
Darius was good for you guys originally.
We had a lot of good potential with a lot of first round picks. We had C.J. Spiller, who looked good at first, fell off. Sammy Watkins looked good, fell off. Stephon Gilmore, he was doing fantastic. We traded him to New England. So, I mean, that wasn't even a trade. You signed him.
That's why I was saying bust-wise, because I think EJ Manuel was the biggest bust-wise.
Yeah.
Oklahoma
I like
City
Manuel,
focused on Darius Baisley, according to the Woj.
There you go.
That's my
There's
guy
the boy.
right there. That means
There's your
they're not
guy.
convinced Paul George is going to be there. That's a big question mark. What do they? Are they going to try to play him at the power forward, or are they saying they don't think Paul George is going to be there for long term?
Interesting. So Woj reported about 4 hours ago, and this came from, actually, I'll hold this real quick because Adam Silver's up. Oklahoma City has selected with the 23rd pick Darius Baisley. So there you go.
Let's go.
OKC gets Darius Baisley. So go ahead, talk about your guy real quick, and I'll bring you up this Woj report that we've got from Johnny NASCAR.
I just think Baisley is the most interesting story in this draft for the way he went around not playing in the NCAA and not playing for a company that's not going to pay him back when they make billions of dollars off of him and his likeness.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he went this route. I think it's really interesting. I don't know how he's going to fit in with Oklahoma City, but I do love Darius Baisley, and I want to see what he does the next time. Why are Utah fans cheering when we know he's going to OKC?
Maybe they're not hearing the news. Maybe they're not reporting it in the actual stadium, which would be dumb.
Right. Anyway.
But, all right. So from Johnny NASCAR, he reports that Woj reports that as Bobby Marks says, the Pacers will still have $31 million in cap space, absorbing Warren into the roster. So this was after the T.J. Warren trade from the Suns.
Still possibly for the D-Lo.
One significant Indiana target and free agent per sources is point guard Ricky Rubio in Indiana.
Tricky Ricky in Indiana?
With Oladipo and...
That could be fun.
Yeah, that could be fun. Thanks for the tweet.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, thanks again, John.
So the Sixers are up on the clock with pick number 24, but this is Boston's final pick. They're heading to commercial right now over on the NFL draft.
After commercial, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Darius Baisley and explain what he did last year that was different than everybody else.
Let's do it.
Because a lot of players, like you got LaMelo Ball, he just signed a 1-year contract to go play in Australia. That's a common thing that's happening now, that a lot of players are going to take that 1-year contract and go play in Australia.
R.J. Hunter did too,
This guy signed a contract with New Balance for $1 million for the year. And what they did was they wanted his creative ideas. He came in, told them his marketing ideas, and they built a full court and had him professionally trained every day for the entire, what would have been NCAA season plus into right now. And he's signed with, I believe, New Balance for the next 3 years is what it is total, where they're going to give him $1 million plus commissions on his shoes when they release his shoe line, because they've already told him he will get a shoe. This is something that we could see a lot more because he just got taken 23rd. We could see a lot more of these prospects coming out of high school going, well, hell, I could just sign with New Balance for a year. So I really like it. I think it's interesting. And he didn't have to leave the country to get paid. So I love it in that aspect. Because a lot of these kids are having to leave
New Balance making some noise.
New Balance making big noise. They got
New Balance making some noise in the marketing committee.
Yeah.
Yep, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Interesting for sure.
And the way that he did that was something you don't see that, and that's because he's from that group that LeBron James, I can't even think of the name of the group. He's with them.
Well, I'll let you hold on to that and think of it, because I got a Woj report for you.
Okay.
Boston is trading once again. Pick number 24.
Wow.
Is going to the Phoenix Suns.
Ty Jerome?
Phoenix is focusing on taking Ty Jerome from Virginia, the point guard.
Interesting.
So they didn't get their point guard originally from Garland or Kobe White, and they're going to get I think Ty Jerome, this guy, I got to watch him a lot, being from Virginia and seeing a lot of Virginia basketball on TV. This guy's an NBA point guard. This guy has the potential to be a true NBA point guard and have a lot of longevity in the league. So I like this pick. I think this guy's going to be the one that we look back at. Yeah, I do.
Ooh.
I think this is going to be one of those picks that we look back at.
I'm going to let you hold on to that
like
for
2-3 years from now. 2 or 3 years from now, we're going to look at this draft, and we're going to do the 2019 draft do-over. This guy's going to be a top 10 pick.
They're saying Portland Trail Blazers, Nasir Little, if it goes the way it's going right now. That could be
fatal.
An addition.
That could be fatal.
That could
be fatal.
Yeah, that's a team that already
getting them at 25.
Wow.
Nasir Little at 25.
Wow, guys, wow.
CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard. Wow.
Stick on your board and know it, and have faith somebody's going to fall to you, because if Nasir Little falls to you at 25, congratulations,
so here we go.
Portland.
The Celtics with a 24th pick, but this is going to the Suns.
Right.
And Ty Jerome. So Ty Jerome will be a Phoenix Sun.
Nice.
Wow.
Man, this has been a draft. Nasir Little falling that far. He looks sad. He looked like he didn't have depression until tonight.
Yeah. I want to know the trade.
Yeah, I'm interested too. How much did you really give up for that?
Well, remember Boston has number 33, and what happened for Phoenix move up? Because Phoenix didn't have anything else. So maybe they got a first-round pick for next year? Who knows?
Maybe Josh Jackson?
Possibly.
I can't believe Portland just getting Nasir Little like this. Wow. That'll be fun to see. Nasir Little.
Interesting, to say the least.
Oh, yeah. I think Ty Jerome is, like you said, an NBA-ready point guard. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
I think he's... I love to watch
Who's your
him
comparison?
play last season, so... Man. I don't know. You got one? He's just a true point guard.
I was going to say a broke man Steve Nash. Like, not Steve Nash, but
I mean,
a broke
that's not
man
bad.
Steve Nash. Like, I used to call Trevor Booker the broke man's Chris Bosh, because he had a little bit of outside range, a little bit of a defense, and then he kind of fell off. So I called him like a broke man's Chris Bosh. So I'd say he's a broke man Steve Nash. Like, he's not Steve Nash, obviously, but he has those glimpses.
What about Alec Burks?
Interesting.
What about Alec Burks? He kind of like Alec Burks a little bit.
Yeah, interesting. I was going to
I
say
can kinda see
he
that.
passes
I
a
don't
little
know.
bit better than Alec Burks, though.
Yeah, that's true. But
That's
I think
why.
that's not bad for a guy going so late.
Right, that's why I said like a Steve Nash because of the passing ability that he brings to the table. Like a broke man Steve Nash.
Hey, guess what?
What's
Guess
that?
who's up after Portland? Cleveland. Guess who's still there? Bull.
I don't like Bull. I
They
know
need a big
you're
guy.
high on him, but I'm not.
They need a big guy.
Kevin Porter Jr. would be a better pick for me.
They need a big guy.
Kevin Porter Jr. would be a better pick for me. They can play him small forward. They don't need a big guy. They got Kevin Love. They got Larry Nash Jr.
Kevin Porter Jr. could go in 3 picks to Brooklyn.
Which would be nice because then they ain't got to worry about D'Angelo Russell as bad. Woj ain't saying nothing. He's
Nasir
quiet.
Little going to the Portland Trailblazers.
That'd be fun.
Going to the Portland Trailblazers after he might be going after going to the Western Conference Finals. How about that? Wow, that's a solid addition.
And you win against the in the Western Conference Finals. The team you win against is now done. They're not going to be back there next year because they're going to be still hurt. I like the Golden State Warriors.
Portland's
But they're
going to
not
give
gonna be back
LA
in
a
the Western
run for their
Conference
money.
Finals next year,
Mm-hmm.
unless they move on from Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant and try to bring in a Jimmy
No
Butler.
way.
That's the only way they're making the Western Conference Finals next year is if they bring in somebody healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was getting at. But I don't think they do that, obviously. I mean, it's not fucking 2K, but if David Griffin was over there, they might be doing that shit. The way he was moving tonight, they might be doing anything underneath his regime. I'm still waiting to see if we see Drew Holiday get traded in the end of this first round here.
For who? Who would be a guy they'd chase
Picks.
in this draft? If I was the Pelicans.
Just
more
picks and
picks.
future picks. Late first
I don't know.
round
David
pick
Griffin
and
was
future
speaking pretty
picks.
highly. David Griffin was speaking pretty highly of Drew Holiday during the draft lottery episode when he was saying, "Hey, if Anthony Davis doesn't want to be here, we got a guy who wants that Drew Holiday." So
I look at that roster that he sent us, and I don't see how Drew Holiday fits in with that roster. I look at what John sent us on Twitter, and I don't see how he fits in with that team.
it's interesting. I mean, I think they need some kind of veteran presence, and that's like the best they got right now. So
I mean, I don't know. Hawks don't have had that presence, and Hawks was a good team.
So we got the Blazers left, the Cavaliers left, the Nets, the Warriors, the Spurs, and then the Pistons. So that'll be the final of the first round. And then we'll leave you over here on the live reaction show, and we'll still be talking about the second round over on Twitter. But we will not be doing the live reaction anymore, as you can see. It's taking forever, but
Yeah, we're almost at 3.5 hours.
still a lot to
already.
talk about. Yeah, still a lot to talk about as we discuss
The Suns
over
are sending-
Twitter. So we'll
Oh,
definitely
sorry.
be discussing.
I'm going to go ahead and throw
Go
this
ahead.
out there real quick. Suns are sending the Celtics a 2020 future first round pick via the
Wow.
Bucks. It's the Bucks first round pick
Okay.
though, so that's not bad for the Ty Jerome trade. So
Okay.
it's just a
Well, it's
first
only a
round
20
first round
Yeah.
pick from the Bucks, which is probably going to be somewhere between 25 and 30 next year, we can assume, because that team is not making many moves and they're still a really good team.
Well, this pick was only 24, so this is
I think
not
it's a great
anything
move.
crazy. This is
Yeah,
something
I
they could.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
great
could
move.
use it later on.
Unless
That's
Giannis
more of a
gets
trade
hurt.
bait kind of thing. That's not something they probably intend to use.
The only way this isn't a great move is if Giannis tears an ACL and that team is a, bottom 12 team next year. But I don't see that happening.
All right, the pick is in for the Portland Trailblazers. Pick 25. Here's Adam Silver. 25th pick. Portland Trailblazers select
Nas Little.
Nasir Little. It's finally done. Nasir Little goes to Portland at pick 25.
He gonna love it there.
Wow.
He might be upset that he's not making
That's
the money.
insane.
So here's what's going through Nas's mind right now is, damn, I missed out on a lot of money.
Mhm.
But I'm going to a championship contender right now. So
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I think Nas should be happy he went to Portland. I think for him, because of the kind of person he is, I think falling out like this is perfect for him. Because he's going to be able to go to a win-now team. He's not going to have to be the main focal point. He's not even going to be the third string on that, if we're being honest. Because that team has pieces. I like it.
Yep.
He might not like it right now. He's going to love it at the end of the next season. He's going to go, damn, y'all. Look at everybody that was drafted ahead of me sitting on the couch watching me at home right now. Damn.
All right, you don't like Bol Bol for Cleveland, but I do. So who do you like for Cleveland in this next pick at 26?
Not Bol Bol. Keldon Johnson. He's still on the board. I love Keldon Johnson.
Keldon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's shocking that he's fell this far. I thought Keldon Johnson was going.
All right. Well, if you're listening, chat in our YouTube. Who do you think Cleveland's taking?
Ooh.
Go ahead and throw a chat in our YouTube if you're listening.
No, I don't need Kevin Porter Jr. Let's take Darius Garland. I still like Kevin Porter Jr., but yeah, we'll just stick with my pick.
Brooklyn or Golden State, I think you're going to take that. So you're taking Keldon Johnson. I'm taking Bol Bol here. All right.
I just don't like Bol Bol.
I think Bol Bol helps them move on from Love. Move Thompson to the 4 and Bol Bol to the 5.
They need to move on from Thompson. Forget moving on from Love. If you're going to move on from either of them, which one's more productive? Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson?
I think contract-wise, you're probably about to go Kevin Love, right? And he's aged, so I think that'd probably be the productivity-wise.
So here's
probably Thompson. But
here's crazy though, because you just said age and contract, right? But we talked about age just a little bit ago about how you need a veteran on a team. So why not have that Kevin Love as the veteran on this team?
Yeah, that's true.
Tristan Thompson.
I don't know. I guess it all depends on
overpaid to me.
whoever. I think you could get more for. You could probably get more for Kevin Love than you can Thompson, though, and that's all that the Cavaliers are looking for. And hell, if they could get rid of both of them and start fresh, I think that'd be okay by them too. So.
Okay. The Suns are acquiring the Celtics center Aaron Baines as part of the Ty Jerome trade. I love that. So they just got Aaron Baines and Ty Jerome in that trade.
Yep.
I love that trade all around for them now because Aaron Baines. Okay, so if Aaron Baines is going there, then what are they going to do with center? Because we just got rid of Al Horford. We just get rid of Aaron Baines. Now we're talking about.
Wait, where did Aaron Baines also got traded? I didn't see that.
Yeah, Woj just reported it 30 seconds ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like that move for Phoenix. I mean, I know Aaron Baines ain't going to start, but Aaron Baines is going to be a nice six-man for you. DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, that's something. Yep.
Yeah, it's something.
So that gives the Celtics an extra big guy.
Maybe Phoenix is
So that makes even more sense.
Yeah.
Hey, I like what the Celtics are doing too. They're building up. They're doing what a Boston organization would do. They're building picks.
Who are they?
And they're still getting players out of it.
Boogie?
Yeah. Maybe they go after a DeMarcus Cousins. Yeah.
Are they going after Boogie
or,
with the hoodie?
Hey, what about the guy who was basically told that that it's already not coming back to Orlando, huh?
Oh, he's going to Dallas though.
Yeah, is that a guarantee?
In my books.
Yeah, in your books, right? But that's still wide open.
Mark Cuban loved foreign
I think
guys.
Boston supports a free agent market way higher than Dallas does. Boston is way more. That's championship city, man.
Dallas got Luka and Kristaps. And Mark Cuban, who's a smooth talker.
Yeah, we'll see. It's one of those two. But either way, you probably have one of those go. So Boogie, you got Vucevic. So Boogie Cousins wide open.
He's gonna go over there and be like, "Don't you want to be the next Dirk?" He's gonna be like, "Didn't you say that?"
You got Brook Lopez too.
Don't
you got Brook Lopez? That's a low costing player.
That's gonna be somebody
that's a mid level. That's an MLE too.
That's gonna be like a Brooklyn Nets or LA Lakers pick. Brook Lopez. It's gonna be like a Brooklyn Nets LA Lakers pick. They're gonna get 2 max contracts and get him as the third guy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Possible. Wow.
Okay. Somebody I didn't even have in my top 40 players is who Cleveland is.
He was in mine,
right
yeah,
now.
go ahead.
Dylan Windler out of Belmont. I didn't even have him in my top 40 prospects. Yep. So for him to be
in my first mock draft, I had him going in the first round. I had him going pretty late here. In my second mock draft, he fell out, but he was still one of the players to be considered. But I did not see Cleveland go with this. I thought they were going to go with best available. But wow, Cleveland's selecting right now. Adam Silver is up on the podium, and he says the Cleveland Cavaliers select. And it's okay. Okay. There it is. The Cavaliers select. There it is. Dylan Windler.
Wow.
From Belmont.
Weird.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere. You want to talk about Windler a little bit? Because I didn't even have him in my top 40.
I mean, the guy was a very efficient shooter. He could shoot about 21 points per game. He had a lot of rebounds for a guard, and when he shot off the dribble or shot off cuts, he had really high percentage shots, over 85%. So I think that he could be a very solid small forward for this team, especially after adding. It's probably a really good shoot off the dribble guy, especially after adding Garland and having Sexton. So they're building from the bottom up. They're starting with their guards. Just got their small forwards. Now they got to start working on big men. So we'll see what happens from there on out. Well, they got Love. They got Love and Thompson, so maybe they're solid with that. So
maybe that's what
they're going to slowly take their time.
Good with Thompson, Nance Jr., Kevin Love, and who was the fourth one? I can't remember. But Dylan Windler, I mean, this guy's okay. Not to be rude,
right.
But this guy's highlights are so minimal. They're showing trick shots that he does with golfing right now. So
Yep, I agree.
You should have showed a little bit more.
Well, let's talk about something first.
Shots. Brooklyn has traded the number 27 pick
Brooklyn
to the
Nets.
Los Angeles Clippers.
Yep.
Thoughts?
Los Angeles Clippers taking the 27. This could be
Bol.
Clippers taking a pick. It could be Bol. Could be Kevin Porter Jr. Could be Kelvin Johnson.
Bol makes sense here. So does Kevin Porter Jr. though, because USC Clippers.
Yeah.
Be good for Shea Gillis.
There's a reason why the Clippers jumped ahead of Golden State. So there's a reason why they're ahead of Golden State. So maybe it's Kevin Porter Jr. here.
I don't know. Bol 7-3. You might not want 7-3 going to going to Golden State. So Bruno Fernando is going to fall into the second round, and I'm mad about that. Yep. I had him going as high as 19.
Yes. So is the guy from the center from Florida State. He's fallen off too.
Yeah, Cabinelli.
3.5
hours in, guys. Can't believe you guys are still sitting here.
So the Clippers are focused. So speaking of, Clippers are focused on Florida State. Cabinelli. So leak sources. So Clippers are getting Cabinelli here. So
real
bold. The people are not taking a chance on this guy.
real quick, guys, if you were watching this, if you've been watching this with this whole 3.5 hours, why don't you tell us your most surprising moment from this year's draft on Twitter? At Tough Talk
it's
Pod,
been really exciting.
just tell us what your most surprising is, and let's see what you guys think. What's yours so far, Christian?
Definitely my most surprising.
Yeah.
I would say without a doubt Nasir Little. Nasir Little, without a doubt. He dropping down to 25 all the way to Portland. I had this guy going as early as 11 to Minnesota before they made the trade. That's where I thought he was going to land, maybe even Charlotte. I didn't have this guy dropping anything lower than 19 in my mocks. So when him dropping 25, that was absolutely insane. And then obviously he had an amazing trade with the Hawks and the Pelicans and all of that. Fantastic, fun, entertaining times. But if I had to pick one player, yeah, it's definitely going to be Nasir Little, UNC. He's probably going to steal the draft as of right now.
Mine's going to be Rui Hachimura going at 9. Shows me that other teams seen what I've seen in him, so maybe I'm not just crazy at how good I thought this kid was, because he went at 9.
Yeah.
So most shocking to me was that, because I thought honestly he was going to go 14, 17, 20. I didn't know how far he was going to fall. So for him to go 9 is awesome. You had him at 17.
I had him to the Pacers at 18.
Or 18, yeah, sorry.
Pacers, wherever that was. 18, yeah, Pacers.
So that's my most surprising at this point, is the fact that he went so early. I actually love that for him, because I thought he should be there.
Yep. And now and Brandon Clark was also another surprising. He moved down. He definitely dropped a lot. That was fantastic. That was
Brandon Clark was
really surprising. And I think the fact that Boston passed up on him twice, and then Memphis trades back in to pick him up. That's fantastic. So both the teams that got lucky in the lottery also made bold moves to come back in to the draft and make selections. New Orleans did it twice, getting Nikolai Alexander-Walker and Jackson Hayes, which, in my opinion, so far, New Orleans has completely killed this draft.
I mean, the Hawks with Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter too, though.
Yeah.
These are things you hope would happen, and they happened.
Exactly. Yeah, this is what makes the NBA draft fun, is being able to completely just change up your lineup. So, absolutely, fantastic.
And this has been such an exciting draft. That's why I want you guys to tweet us your favorite moment, because this isn't like most drafts where it's pretty open and shut on a lot of these picks, because a lot of these guys have fell. A lot of these guys have been traded. Bol still on the board. We had him going as high as 12 to Charlotte, and he's still sitting there at 27 right now. And from what everybody thinks saying, that the Clippers are taking Fiondu Kabengele here.
Yeah.
Clippers will send the Nets a 2020 first-round pick via Philadelphia and the 56th pick tonight for this pick.
Okay, so this is something. This could be a good thing for the Clippers. They didn't have a first-round pick, so trying to jump up to grab someone.
Fiondu Kabengele is a very good player. I like him.
If teams are trading up in this first round, they see that this draft is not as or is more deep than people say it is.
Yeah, maybe these scouts aren't so good. Assholes.
The Clippers have selected
three-person pick
Fiondu Kabengele.
You're stupid.
The center out of Florida State.
Kabengele.
He will be a Los Angeles Clipper.
He's going to be great for the Clippers. Clippers looked good last year. They look like honestly a very good team. Talks Kevin Durant could go in there in the offseason. Talks Kawhi Leonard could go there in the offseason. Pat Bev's trying to recruit everybody and leave town at the same time. Don't quite understand how he does that. Maybe because he's, a snake. But Fiondu Kabengele is going to be great for the Clippers. He's going to fit right in with Tobias Harris and everything that's going on. Do they sign Tobias Harris again? I believe he's an upcoming free agent as well. Lots of questions with this team. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander really proved that he was the starting point guard last year when they thought he was going to be a backup to Pat Bev. Pat Bev quickly realized he was going to take that bench and didn't probably have a problem with it. Dikembe Mutombo is Kabengele's uncle. I don't know if I've ever told you that. Kabengele's mom is actually Dikembe's sister. So, not like that's going to matter, but...
So another thing that we're not really talking about is Brooklyn trading this pick to the Clippers. is helping the Brooklyn Nets clear even more cap for these max deals for possible Kyrie Irving. Yeah, but maybe they don't go after Kyrie, but they still.
You think they just said that to Brooklyn or to Kyrie to not give him a max? Like, hey, bro, we don't really want to go with you, so instead of 32, we'll give you 27.
They didn't say that to Kyrie.
Focused on Jordan Poole.
Okay.
Jordan Poole, the Michigan point guard or shooting guard. I could see that being a good addition, seeing as though Klay Thompson's going to be out all year. But that tells you what a lot of people are saying about Bol right now, that he's still falling. Just popped up on my feed. I figured I'd share that.
All right, so we had Johnny NASCAR. He posted his most surprise. He said Windler to Cavs doesn't make sense when you have Sexton and Garland. Should have drafted a big. Yeah, I agree with you that. I thought maybe a Bol or something in that Cleveland, but you got to think that this Windler guy, he's a small forward. So yeah, they have a small forward and Nance Jr. correct, but that's the guy they saw that could benefit in their team. He's a catch and shooter. He definitely can make a lot of efficient plays. So I don't know if I hate the pick. It's definitely something I wasn't expecting. I personally thought it was going to big man too. That's something I've been looking at for the last 2 mock drafts. But Windler I don't think is the worst pick here, but it's definitely a shock to me too.
And I think the Cavs could move back in here to the second round because there's so many big men still available. They could go with a big man here, like a Bruno Fernando, a Nick Claxton. There's still like 4 or 5 of them out there that I've done research on myself that I really like. Bol still on the board, but we're not going to talk about him because I don't think he's going to pan out, and apparently a lot of these teams don't think so either. KZ Okpala is still on the board. I found it shocking that they didn't take KZ Okpala and they actually took, So the fact that KZ is still on the board is crazy to me. Taylor Horton-Tucker is still on the board. Nick Claxton, Bruno Fernando. There's lots of talent still on this board, and so, man.
KZ Okpala could be going to San Antonio. That's one of those players that I had sitting there.
And that's a good pick for them.
For seeing San Antonio going there.
We thought they were going to go Nazir Little, and they didn't. They went Samanic.
That's true. So
they might think they don't need.
I thought I knew a little more about San Antonio, but yeah.
Man,
who knows?
This draft has not been flying by at all.
Nope.
Yeah, we're going on almost 4 hours of a podcast, which is unheard of.
Yep.
Because we're usually done in an hour 20 or less.
Well, we only have 3 picks left, and one of the picks is in, so we're just waiting on it to happen, and then we'll sign off from there. So we're gonna do another podcast this Sunday, correct, Derek?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the AFC South and the NFC South. Going to be talking about our favorite teams like the Houston Texans.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so to me, I think you think Houston Texans. I like teams more like Indianapolis Colts in that division, and then you got NFC South. NFC South is completely exciting. I think the New Orleans Saints, they always have fun things to talk about, and you got some teams that you really have questions about as well, like Tampa Bay. So we'll see what happens when we talk about those teams next week. See what happened in their draft. We'll talk about OTAs, about recent acquisitions. We'll look at their schedule and see what where we think they're going to land. We use a nice schedule predictor, and we have them sitting. We actually did it already with our last one, so we'll see what happens there. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting back into the NFL. We'll definitely still be talking NBA every now and again, though, because this offseason, even though the draft is tonight, doesn't end tonight. Free agency gets kicked off at the beginning of July, basically around the same time as Summer League. So we'll still have a lot to talk about NBA, but NFL kicks up a little more, so we'll get more in NFL gear. I'm looking forward to that episode on Sunday, 100%. So we'll get kicking into that AFC, NFC preview, and I'd like to get thrown into a little football with you at some point too, but that'll be a little bit later on. in our
And see,
episodes.
the thing I'm really curious about with the Texans, and I want to just touch on it really quickly, and the reason I said them first off, is that really young offense led by a quarterback that we're not sure
Yep.
what he's going to do. I want to see it. I want to see what they're going to
Mhm.
do this year. So that's why I
Yep.
said them first, is that's the team with the biggest question mark surrounding them, in my personal opinion. Tampa Bay is going to be, in my opinion,
Yeah.
bottom of the rung. We'll talk about it more. Saints is all about how Drew Brees is performing, obviously. But it's going to be pretty interesting to see that as well. We'll talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see. Andrew Luck, how's he going to look this year? Lots of questions. Lots of questions. Talk about them Jaguars. Waiting to see what they're saying here. I'm like watching because it says pick is in. Pick has been in since we went to commercial, guys.
Yeah, I think they're just holding on to it just so they can run a promo.
Yeah, I know about how KD got hurt.
Because just in time for Golden State to select here.
By the
So
way,
here's
can
Adam
we-
Silver.
Can we talk real quick about? Oh, go ahead and say the pick
Yep.
because it'd
So
still
the
be
20th
same team.
pick of the NBA draft, the Golden State Warriors will select. They take Jordan Poole from Michigan.
So as we expected. Okay, so can we talk about how much a savage Klay Thompson is real quick? Man, tore his
Yeah.
ACL and then walked back on the court to shoot the free throws.
Yeah, Klay Thompson's a beast, man.
Yeah, you're a savage for that, bro. You just fucking literally tore your shit and you came back out and shot the free throws. You're the man.
Yep. So Jordan Poole, did you see this guy going in the first round?
No, I had
did
him in the
not.
second. Had him in the first.
But I'm not
10 picks.
surprised.
Yeah, I had him at 37 overall on my board. 37
Yeah.
overall.
Golden State knows what players they want, though. They take what they want. They don't really take best available. So
Jordan Poole
this-
came
if this
to the
works
thing,
out for
so
them?
They probably told him they were taking him in the first round.
yeah,
He's there in Brooklyn. That means they told him he was getting taken. Which, honestly, if you're getting told
you got to
by
be
a team-
excited.
if you get a call by a team and they're going, hey, we're going to take you unless somebody takes you before, that's got to be a great feeling. Like Rui Hachimura at 9.
Hell
Let's talk
yeah.
about that real quick. Like, that's a perfect example. Washington Wizards call him and go, if you don't go to the Combine, we're going to take you at 9 unless you go before that. You're going,
Mhm.
okay, buddy. I'll sit at
Yep.
home. So, I think it's a great move. And I think Jordan Poole actually will fit in well in Golden State.
Yeah.
I think he's a good, what I call him a mixed guard where he plays point and shooting guard. He's a good mixed guard where he can handle the ball well, but he's also plays off the ball
Mhm.
even better. I really enjoy that. I think he'll fit in well, and I think he's going to get a lot of playing time this year with Klay Thompson being hurt, and we're going to see a lot of this kid. And Golden State's just happy that they got him.
Yep.
God, Adam Silver looks like a freaking creep up there, doesn't he? He looks like an alien. He looks like one of the Men in Black rejects from the extras.
Oh man.
Like, you remember when Will Smith and Tommy, oh man, what's his name, walked up to the
Tommy
guy
Lee
at-
Jones.
Yeah, he looks like he should have been the guy at the stand rather than the guy with all the hair when they started talking to the pug. Adam Silver looks like he should have been the guy at the newsstand. Like, what do you want?
All right, we got a Woj report. San Antonio is focused on Keldon Johnson.
My guy.
Keldon Johnson.
Tells you what people are thinking about Bol Bol. He's not going to go in the first rounds.
Bleacher Report also posts that Karl Anthony Towns is super pumped about Jarrett Culver. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
I was about to say, you fucking
Jarrett
think
Culver.
it's Jimmy Butler without
Yeah.
the ego.
Mm-hmm. So that's
And
awesome.
Anybody out there says Jimmy Butler don't have an ego, that dude is a... I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to say what I was about to say.
Yep. So I'm seeing another post here. Johnny NASCAR, man, you're killing it, man. Sending us a lot of tweets tonight. I got he's sending me a tweet from Chris Fedor. He says Bull's medicals are not good. I'm told the feedback on him wasn't great either. So yes, we are aware of that. We knew that
It's
there
'cause
was
of that
possible
foot.
issues with Bull, but there's a
He
risk you got to
could've-
be willing to take at
He
some
could have
point.
stayed in
So
Oregon.
I guess he could have. You're right. So
But
if he
yeah,
goes to the second round, I guess that's a thing. But
I'm excited for Sharif O'Neal. Did you see his Drew League highlights? He's back
No,
healthy
I
off
missed
of the
it.
heart problem. Oh my goodness, he looks so
oh,
good
great,
in the Drew League.
good.
Yeah, he looks so good, man. I'm so excited to see him at UCLA next year. I think that's
What league is that?
Huh? Drew League?
What league?
The
Oh,
Drew
okay,
League.
okay.
It's like where pros
Yeah.
play with college players and high school players, all
Yeah.
on the same. And I love it. I love watching it.
Yeah.
But Sharif, I think that I heard that Jalen Hands reclassified, and so that means he went back to UCLA. If he went back to UCLA, watch out for UCLA. If Jalen Hands stays there and Sharif
Mhm.
O'Neal is healthy next year, that's going to be
Yeah.
a fun lobbing connection to watch because those two are going to be fun to watch, and it'll
Pac-12
push
have-
both of their prospects up too.
Yeah. Pac-12 after dark will be fun for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to have to find some Pac-12 stuff. Cavs are trading for the number 30 pick and focused on Kevin Porter.
Wow. Wow. So wow. So we're getting Garland. They're getting
Best
Windler
available.
and Kevin Porter. Yeah,
Best
I guess
available
you're
at the end
right.
of the first round.
They're going to have a lot of guards. Well, I mean, because you'll
What
have
if they
three
think
guards.
that-
You'll have Sexton, Garland, and Porter.
I like
And then
it.
you have Windler at forward.
You
Yeah,
still have
it's not
Jordan
bad.
Clarkson. You still have Jordan Clarkson. You still have J.R. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it.
Tristan Thompson. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking guard wise, but yeah, I like it. If they get Kevin Porter Jr. at 30, that's a great way to end our podcast because we can talk about Kevin Porter for a minute and talk about how we don't know what the hell the off the court issues are. Keldon Johnson going to the Spurs, as Woj said fucking 5 minutes
Yep.
ago. He just took off
Yep,
the
Keldon-
jacket to show his all white jacket. Did you catch that? He took a
Yep.
colorful ass jacket off to put the all white jacket on. Keldon Johnson's going to be one of those kids, especially in the Popovich system. He's going to do well, and I think it's going to be fun to watch him in San Antonio. I couldn't be more happy that he's going to a place like that, where he's going to have a coach who explains what he needs to be doing all the way through. That tells me he's going to fit in well with that team. What if Bol doesn't get drafted at all?
No, there's no way. Somebody will take at least a chance on him, just to do it, even if it's in the 50s. But yeah, he didn't make it to the first round. So how about that? That's crazy. So that was the biggest one that we didn't see go in the first round was Bol. He's definitely the farthest one
We
down.
had him as high
Now-
as 12.
Yeah, we had him going to. I think the closest was Charlotte, right? That was the
Yeah,
first one we had.
Okay, hold on. Cavaliers made a deal with the Pistons to target Porter. League sources: Cavs will give new coach John Beelan 3 rookies: Darius Garland, Dylan Windler, and Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be
Wow.
telling what it was, but it's just kind of saying that they're giving the coach 3 new pieces.
Yeah, and you still got Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love and Larry
Yeah,
Nance Jr.
I think he did a good job.
That's not a bad little team.
I think Keldon Johnson was a good pick here for the Spurs.
Yeah, the Spurs.
think
Yeah, the Spurs know what they're doing with the
Dominic
draft.
is going to be the
You know,
question
another
mark.
one. You know, another player that didn't get picked up yet is Acapella. He did not get picked up
Casey
yet.
Akapala is not winning the
Akpala
first
did
round
not.
either, yeah.
Yep.
Could he be that guy that goes to
Eric
Brooklyn
Michelle
as-
from
Who? Man.
Eric Bichelle from Nova, Bruno Fernando from Maryland. You know, you got Claxton from Georgia, Daniel Gafford from Arkansas. A lot of big men coming up in the second round.
Yeah, so there's going to be... So my thing about Cleveland moving up here is it says something about what they believe in Kevin Porter Jr. If that's who they're taking, for sure. Woj is usually not wrong on these things, so we're just going to say that's who he's taking. We'll,
Nope.
for the aspect of this,
Yep.
for this, we'll talk about it and we'll say that that's who they're taking. It tells you what they think about Kevin Porter Jr., but the thing with him is, like, he got suspended from the team. for off-the-court issues, and that's all they would say.
Yeah.
And they said it was based on him not getting along with, like, I did a little bit more digging. I didn't tell you about this. It was based on him not getting along with the coaching staff and his other players on his team. So my question about that is, how's that gonna, could he be a cancer to the Cleveland Cavaliers society? Do we need to get rid of him if he starts being all about himself and not about the team? Because that's what I did a little bit more research. It said he wasn't getting along with his coaches mainly.
Yep.
Because remember, I was telling you, I said it could have been anything from him cheating or robbing somebody. You don't know because USC likes to hide things. They said it was his coaches. They didn't like his coaches. What you're going to do with coaches on the next level too, buddy. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure. It's a brand new coach, so he's going to be. I'm sure that hopefully he changes his ways. He's going to be in professional ball now, be making a paycheck. So hopefully he doesn't, he doesn't have discipline or emotional problems.
Just not as big.
Yeah, you never know.
These schools be paying kids. Let's quit acting like they ain't. These kids are getting paid.
Yeah, that's.
Did you hear how
possible?
Quick
That's true. That's definitely possible.
You heard how quick the report came out that Zion got paid by Nike. Duke reported it, and then Duke shut the fuck up right after that too. How much you want to bet they were like, we're going to report you for getting paid by Nike? He's like, I'm going to report y'all paid me too? What the fuck?
Yep.
I really do.
All right, so Woj retweeted something from Bobby Marks, and he said Boston's now sitting at $25.8 million in cap room, factoring the Terry Rozier hold after trades with Phoenix could increase to $34 million without Rozier.
Yeah, but who are you going after? I don't know.
Be interesting to see who they chase.
I think Boston's about to be on that young tip. 31 on the trade block already from Brooklyn.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, that was just tweeted. 8 seconds ago kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. They want to try and trade out, and they want to, build their cap space. So is this somebody who wants to take a chance on Bol Bol, or someone wants to get the KZ Akpala right
That's
here?
What I think it is.
Perfect.
I don't think it's Bol Bol.
Trade
I
up.
think it's KZ Akpala.
Yeah. So as we leave you after this pick, we still got a lot of talent that should have been in the first round, or at least was mocked. Bol Bol, KZ Akpala. We have Bruno Fernando, Claxton, Daniel Gafford. Yeah, so we'll see what happens in the second round. Stick around. Stay tuned to our Twitter page at Tough Talk Pod after this last pick, and we'll be keeping you in touch with the picks. And also make sure you pay attention to the draft on ESPN. Don't forget to follow Woj, because Woj is NBA god when it comes to insider news.
I was about to say, we've known every pick before it's happened because of Woj. So
yeah. But other than that, yeah. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you guys stuck around to enjoy our show today. I know it's been a super long one. I'm sure hopefully you've enjoyed it. It's been really fun. We've done a lot of crazy trades, a lot of crazy acquisitions. Definitely say the New Orleans Pelicans won the first round without a doubt. We'll see what happens in the second round. I think that we might have some steals that happen in there. I'm really excited that my boy Ty Jerome got drafted early. I want to see where Admiral Schofield goes. Will Taco Fall go in the second round? Who knows? But either way, it's going to be a very exciting second round
pick if everybody stayed where they were at. I thought he could be a first round pick to like the Bucks, because we didn't see the Bucks pick in the first round. So, but I thought that could be the team he went to. Honestly, just give them that big guy in the middle, and of course, he's going to be coming off the bench. You re-sign Brook Lopez if you draft him. But I thought that might be where he went if he went anywhere in the first. And the reason I said he went in the first instead of the second is because you get 2 years out of a first-year contract rather than a 1-year contract out of a second round player.
Absolutely. So, one more pick to go. For pick number 30 here.
Now they're talking to Goga.
So, if Ricky Rubio goes to Indiana, that's impressive. You got Victor Oladipo, you got Goga. That's,
Still leaves the
that can
question
be
of where
pretty
D'Angelo
fun.
Russell goes.
That's true. That's very true.
I don't think he goes to Boston. I think he goes to Orlando. I've heard lots of reports of D'Angelo Russell going to Orlando. Lots of reports from multiple sources, multiple websites, multiple Twitter feeds.
Nice. All right, guys. Here's the final pick of the first round. It's officially the Milwaukee Bucks, but it goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And pick number 30 goes to Kevin Porter Jr., shooting guard out of USC. So Cleveland Cavaliers will finish out our first round. Definitely a good pick. Kevin Porter Jr., that's your boy, Derek.
Tells me
that's someone you wanted.
Brooklyn.
Yep. So that's something that they like out of him. So what a first round. I really enjoyed it. That was fun. We'll have to definitely try that again.
So
definitely try it again next year.
I want to go.
All right.
I want to do a little talking about two things. Who,
out
of the first round, in your opinion, has the biggest bust possibility?
Biggest bust possibility
out of the first round.
I would have to say, man, that's a good one.
All right, I'll give you mine real quick, and I'll let you think about it real quick.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Mine is going to be Luka Samanic. I think we don't know enough about the kid. I think at 19, how can we say it's a bust at 19? It's still a first-round pick. That's how we can say it's a bust at 19. I don't think there was enough footage on him. Oh, the other one I was thinking is Sekou Doumbia. I might have just taken his. But the other one I was thinking is Sekou Doumbia. Those are my two big question marks, and mainly because they played overseas, so I'm not really sure what they're going to bring to the NBA level. Can they play at that level? Because they never went, so that's mine.
Yeah. Okay. If I had to say one, I would have to go with I like Doumbia. I think that's the guy that I'd probably go for as a bust. I was really nervous about Washington taking him at 9. I'm glad he fell. But also another big surprise was Cam Johnson going really early. So that could definitely throw some flags up that could be a possible bust. I like his play, but it's just something that I did not expect to see him go really early. I think my biggest steal of the draft, 100% though, Nasir Little. I think Nasir Little is biggest steal of the draft, round 1. And my biggest upside of the draft so far, and I said it once, I'll say it again. If we do a redraft in 10 years, mark me right now. Record this screenshot. Ty Jerome would be a top 10 pick if we did a redraft in 3 years. Ty Jerome is going to be a fun pick.
Because I sure was about to say,
who
do you think had the biggest upside outside of the lottery? And you said Ty Jerome before I had a chance.
Yeah.
Mine would be Darius Bazley.
Hands down.
Mine would be Darius Bazley.
You like that guy.
Yeah, he just didn't have enough attention on him. So that's why I think maybe he could be the one. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. We've been at this for just about 4 hours now. We'll be back this Sunday with the AFC and the NFC South. We're going to discuss that. We're going to tell you what our thoughts are, our predictions, who could even sign there as free agents, because we're talking about this stuff way too early, and we don't even know what's going to happen in the NFL. So
that's what makes it fun, though. That's what makes it fun.
Stop in this Saturday, and if you want to talk any more about the NBA draft, go ahead and @ Tough Talk Pod on Twitter, and we'll be on there all night letting you know what we think of everything. All right, Christian, you have a good night, man.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and get in the stream here.